Yes, good people. Big up to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. I do hope you're all doing well, and I really do mean that. Welcome back to another Blue Morning Show on Chelsea Perspective, specifically the Transfer Watch Show on Chelsea Perspective. I do hope you're all doing well, and I appreciate you all once again. And I believe I said that 1,000 times by the time the show ends. But that's by the way. Today we'll talk about Victor Osimhen, Gallagher. We'll also talk about Armando Broja, Mauricio Pochettino, and all the other news items we have lined up to discuss today. I think we have so much actually to talk about today. But that's by the way. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show without wasting much of your time. Let's do it. Yes, people, once again, a big up to all of you. Sincerely do. I appreciate you all. I'm not going to go through everything we have in the chat. I'll look at a few and skip quite a few. Some people from a Twitch saying some nonsense. Then Amaya Fawole, nice to see you. And Tobias, nice to see you. Promoting Demola Lukman, who was brilliant for Nigeria yesterday, and also Victor Osimhen, of course. Let's see who else we have in the chat. This must be news from the Mud Huts. Okay, you come in here just straight up start insulting people. If you're following the news, or if you're following the news, or if you remember here, you know that we're not into clickbaiting. We find whatever that's out there where the clickbaits are. I'm not going to even highlight your comment because of the way it comes across. All we do is take our time to analyze what's out there and try to come to a sensible conclusion and educate our followers and guide them, tell them what they should teach them how to dissect and analyze information and come to a sensible conclusion. So I'm not going to even highlight your comment there because that's rude, really. Namaya Fowler, nice to see you once more. And this one, Muratai, nice to see you waiting for updates for a CSC. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And Constantine Dundee. Nice to see you, brother. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for always saying my name that way. Some people may not know where you got that from, but I'll just leave it as it is. Keep dropping the lights on the stream, people. The lights to go along with. Big up a big man Dante, and big up to you too, my fellow 2 a.m. brother. Nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. And we have Walter Omorebe in the house. Mr. Walter, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I think I haven't seen you in a while, and I sincerely do hope that the cases that you've been busy and that nothing wrong has happened on your end. But nice to see you, and let's keep the topics aligned. I'm going to try to maintain this now. I've said it 1,000 times. You have every right to have a conversation with anybody in the chat. That's why we're community. It's allowed. But if you want me to read whatever you have in there, it has to be aligned with the current topic. Otherwise, I'm going to skip it. I'm a human being. As much as I like to interact with you, going back and forth of topics doesn't help. It can be exhausting. That's because my brain, will be processing information from one information to another like that. I don't think it helps. Let's see, Mayor, thank you for that contribution. I'm going to leave it at that. Let's assume you're having a conversation with somebody. And when it's time for Q&A, I will let you know so that you can come in with the questions you may have for the panelists here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Sincerely do appreciate you all. And thank you so much, more importantly, for finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Don't align. Make Coach work harder. Nice to see you. Let's keep dropping the likes on the stream. And quickly, I want to appeal to those of you who are watching, but for one reason or the other, you're not able to participate in the chat. Just know that we appreciate you. And that's because, truthfully, you watching alone does provide great value to the community. And I want to say thank you to you for finding the time to watch. But we want to ask you for one more favor, which is to take a second to drop a like on the stream for us. And that's because the more likes we're gonna, the more the YouTube algorithm will be triggered to push the stream to more people who'll be interested in the topics we have lined up. But that's, by the way, let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way, especially when he wears red. This is not red. This is in black and white. Mash up the shirt there. But that's why we keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Let's get started and start addressing the items we have lined up one by one and knock them out as quickly as possible. That's the first one there. The first item on the screen reads, Chelsea's decision makers want a new striker. They want that right now. Don't rule it out. Don't rule it out, which means if we get a new striker, most likely now it will not be Victor Osimhen. I'd be shocked if we sign a striker and boom, it is Victor Osimhen. This January transfer window, I don't see that happening, which means that most likely if we sign a striker this window, it will be more of a stopgap signing or a temporary signing. I don't know if that's anything like that, but I know you understand what I'm trying to say there. Let's see what else we have here. Yep, especially whatever you say there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. So the question now is, what sort of striker are we looking at? Here's the something to pay attention to, but I'll get to that in a bit. Let's get into the next item. It will help us naturally transition into what I wanted to say there. Let's see. That sounds like a Rich Moneymaker's comment. Which one sounds like that? Let's see what else we have here. Good old Leighton. I haven't seen him today, but I hope he's doing well. And I have my bro, the gist, his Scotch Potch, Chelsea Mitchell. Appreciate you finding the time to join us on the panel on this show this particular morning, Mitch. I hope you're doing well. And apologies, in a while I haven't been able to be on your show or to be in the chat in most cases. But as you can see, even my own schedule have been how to scatter system issues and all that in other programs. But I'm trying to the best I can to stabilize everything as soon as possible. I hope I'll find people that I can trust to help me host shows when I'm not available. But hi, Jesse, I don't like you, but I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Let's see what else we have here. Like Simon Phillips, coach. Oh, now it makes sense to me. The comment does sound like something Leighton would say. But that's why we keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Xavi took Alonso club. We might see a summer of a big manager shift. Yeah, that's certainly what happened. Lots of, what's the language again? Domino effect, maybe. But nice to see you, fellow 2 a.m. guy. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show and that contribution right there. I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Let's see. How many people do we have watching? We have 27 people watching, nearly 90% of that on YouTube here, so that's good. And if you're following us on Instagram, thank you so much for finding the time to join. And thank you for WhoMB and an LE. I can't pronounce that because you are separated by underscores. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But thank you for the blue hearts you've dropped on Instagram there. Sincerely do appreciate that. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. So we've heard now that the owners, they want a striker, but they want a striker like yesterday. But let's see what we have next. That will tell us a lot. Let's go. Now, this particular item here is saying that Napoli's president, Olerio De Laurentiis, has confirmed the Chelsea's transfer target, Victor Osimhen, will leave the club in this summer. So that simply implies probably chances are, or let me say it doesn't imply, this to me means that there's a chance he's already in talks with his next club, or maybe Napoli are already in talks with whatever club that he's destined to join come summer. Whether that's a Chelsea Football Club, I honestly do not know. I have to be honest. I don't pretend I know everything. But this is this means certainly he'll leave Napoli in the summer. And we knew when he signed a new contract, and the contract extension wasn't like he signed. He didn't put pen to paper for a lengthy contract. It was just about a year or 2 year extension, which we realized at the time was just more of a loyalty contract to enable Napoli get a sizable fee from his side whenever he leaves. And we knew before time that he will most likely leave Napoli in the summer. So now we're learning from De Laurentiis himself, he's going to leave Napoli in the summer. The question now is, where will he go? You can argue most certainly Chelsea, and that's because everything we're seeing, drama maybe getting the job done for us behind the scenes, and the fact that he listens to Mikel will be more of a senior in the national team when they played it together, and all that. So let's see what happens. Plus, he's Chelsea through and through. Given the fact that he supported Chelsea from when he was 7 and up. I can't quite remember what age, not to be too specific there and lie to you. So let's see what happens. No Poch. Let's keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. We are in for a long journey with Poch, Dante. You cannot forget that. I don't think so. If you say, well, for a long journey with him, he'd be on a 5-6 year contract, but he's just on a 2 year contract with an option to extend it for a further year to make it 3 years, because the owners, they learned a good lesson from the length of contract they had. They gave They gave Graham Potter. So it'd be stupid for them not to be cautious with that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go along with. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. And once again, please, you have every right to have a good conversation, to engage in a good conversation with the community members. But if you really want me to read or to address what you have there, it have to be aligned with the current topic. That's because I'm a human being. As much as I like to interact with you, it can be exhausting to be switching between topics like this. I wish I could do that relentlessly without being exhausted or burning out, because I do everything myself. So that makes it even more difficult. And this is saying could be why we're so quiet in January so far. They're working on all Osimhen details of finances, etc. I think I agree. Everything, all the things we've read of late, or we've seen in the news of late, points to the fact that chances are you can say, make it believable that maybe we've sealed the deal. I've seen Terry Flores, a football terrorist, saying he had a caption saying Osimhen to Chelsea done or something similar to that. And we've seen other reports suggesting that he's chosen to join us. It's believable. It's really believable. But let's see where that goes from here. That may well be the case. And Vic, it's in the house. Nice to see you, my brother Vic. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. So much. Let's see what else we have here. And Dante is saying, I don't see him going to Real Madrid at all. Real Madrid, I think their priority right now is Kylian Mbappe. And you can say, I think they're good. It will be a huge risk for him because it's not guaranteed to be starting over Mbappe, which we've known for a while now that Mbappe's most likely destination will be Real Madrid. PSG maybe just because of wages as well, but most likely us. And it will take some convincing from PSG for them to get him to join them. They will have to pay more than us. But I've heard so much that the manager wants him, the owners want him. There's no way to confirm if everything we've heard or read are all true, but we'll find out. This is saying that's not on topic, Coach. Don't read out Jay's message. He wasn't here when I said that. So I found a way to let him know it has to be on topic, otherwise I'll skip your comment there. Man of the match, that was Petrovic. Big up Dante. Okay, I read that one too from Vic. Real Madrid is Mbappe and Haaland only. Those two, yeah, exactly. I've heard that too. Big up to all in the panel and chat. Big up to you too, Bobby. Nice to see you. The legend Bobby is in the house, and this is for you, Bobby. Okay, and let's talk about his performance for Nigeria yesterday. He didn't score, but he was brilliant. I think he unsettled the Cameroon defenders with his pace, power, and everything. And the first goal, being honest, was about his pressing, relentless pressing. He pressed relentlessly and never gave up and won the ball. And he had the intelligence to find Ademola Lookman, who made a well-calculated run there, and that led to the first goal. For me, that's the sort of thing I think Chelsea fans will cherish a lot. Even when he doesn't score, you can see that he leads the team with his performance. And at the end of the game, the fans, Nigerian fans, were chanting his name. But that's why we're here to talk about him. De Laurentiis named Real Madrid's PSG a top Premier League club as the Nigerian international is likely a destination. So this part is very important. So he clearly named Real Madrid, and he also named the Paris Saint-Germain, but he didn't name the Premier League club. So for me, that's telling. That's telling, and that's because maybe it's as a result of the club wanting them to keep everything on the wraps and not tell anybody and not give anything away with regards to us being his preferred destination or his next club. So that this part for me is telling really. He didn't name. He just said top Premier League club. And you remember, we've talked about this. It just seemed as if our new owners, they found a way to keep their transfer activities under wraps, which makes it difficult for journalists to find out what's going on until we are on the verge of completing the deals. That's usually when you hear from them. And I'm quite sure they have the connection to reach out to some journalists and say, we don't want this out there. Even if you know, don't let it out there. Don't just help us keep it on the wrap, or maybe find a way to compensate them, or maybe just to always give them inside scoops. But tell them we don't want this out there right now. But that's just me speculating anyway. I appreciate you all, and JC. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And everyone in the chat, a nice weekend to everyone. Nice weekend to you too. Thank you for finding the time to join. PSG will be our biggest rival for Osimhen. But I think before that happens, they will most likely pay quite a lot. And I'm going to say this. Osimhen doesn't come across to me as Lucho. What's his name? The former Spain and Barcelona coach. He doesn't come across to me as this type of player. That's not me saying Osimhen isn't good. That's besides my argument. Liverpool's next coach and the decision to keep also Salah and Nunes. Okay, let's beat another line. Let's wait after AFCON. We'll find out what happens there. Bobby Time Smoky Sickness calling that again. A big up JC and a big up to all of you there. Bobby, I'm going to come to you quickly. You've seen the items we've addressed here. We've talked about the fact that the owners, according to Simon Phillips, and I think you were the one that told me there's actually he has connections with Chelsea. When most of the things he says are usually true. He says here Chelsea's decision makers want a new striker. They want that right now. Don't rule it out. But whether it be a top target this window, or maybe they'll sign a player, it's a stopgap player, maybe, for lack of a better language there. Some decision makers want a different to others. So I ignore any noise right now. Once Chelsea and the players decide what they wanted to do and leak it, they will. Don't swallow every report. So he's saying just be cautious with what we read out there. What we're seeing out there. The owners want to strike, but the question now is, I don't see us signing our top target this window. Especially if we're to believe that Osimhen is a top target. He said openly that he's not leaving Napoli this January transfer window, and we've seen the Napoli president here, De Laurentiis, saying Osimhen will most likely, definitely leave in the summer. So let's hear you, Bobby. What do you make of this particular report? And big up to you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join us this morning.
Yeah, big up, Coach. Just one point of correction. I didn't say anything about Simon Phillips having big connections.
Okay, maybe someone else. Apologies for that.
Someone else, because he is the one and only journalist who has actually blocked me on X years ago because I challenged him about some things he was saying about the club. He's one of those that 1 minute he says something, then the next minute he throws the grenades so that the fan base start to feel some type of way and so on. And I'm very direct about that. I challenged him. He didn't like it. He's got, is it how many thousands of followers? So he thought, oh, this guy, I can easily block him, which he did, and that's fine. That's his prerogative. But if he
Mhm.
comes at the club, I will come at him. Don't know who he is. Don't care who he is. He's not an almighty over me, as some of these journalists try to think, because they have some fans that are scared of them or anything. That's not me. So no, I didn't say that. I don't
All
insult
right.
him. I
All right.
don't do
Apologies for
anything, but
that.
I don't respect him.
Okay.
Um,
So, Bobby, what do you make of the report that the owners want a striker and they want it like yesterday? And that's I'm paraphrasing, of
well,
course. Mhm.
at the moment, I can think of several top clubs, Chelsea included, that want a top striker, a young top
Mhm.
striker. Sky Sports and their usual political ventures. They use another one of their little political ventures. I've forgotten her name now, and they were talking about Arsenal's plan for the summer to get a striker, a young striker, world class striker, everything that Chelsea is actually planning to do. They then ascribed it to Arsenal. I'm not surprised. That's how they roll. You know, they have the clubs that they fool us all into paying subscriptions for them to promote, which I think is very, very wrong. If you are charging people money who don't all necessarily subscribe to the clubs that you subscribe to, then that's fraudulent. You know, they should pay us back our money, call a spade, say that they are Liverpool TV or Man United TV or Arsenal TV, so we have the option to steer well clear, rather than deceive us into saying that they're this even-handed, objective viewing thing. They're not. They're political. They push all the political agenda, both socially and sporting-wise, and I don't appreciate that. But yes, we do want a striker. It's quite blatantly obvious. I am so pleased that, unlike in the last regime, we're not panic buying, because the last regime and their panic buying, by regime, I'm talking about the club board. I'm just trying to be funny because I mentioned politics, but the last
Mhm.
ownership, who had somebody that I'm not particularly fond of. They put her in charge of everything, and she went and panic buyed a striker that to this day is a millstone around our neck as a football club. So this ownership is not doing that, and I'm glad they're not doing that. I'm glad they're taking their time. They've done a lot of recruitment over the past 18 months, short period of time they've been here, and now they're in a position where they don't have to rush. I'm hearing Osimhen says he's going to come to Chelsea. That would be nice. I'm watching him in the African Cup of Nations. Is he very impressive? He was against Cameroon, I guess, a little bit. Although there were some disappointing things I'm finding with him in terms of his finishing in front of goal. I don't know why that is. I don't want to
I don't think you
undermine.
have enough from the AFCON in just how many games. But you go
Yeah,
ahead with
yeah.
what you were saying.
I don't want to undermine his ability, because he's African Football of the Year for a reason. We've seen what he can do for Napoli. I've seen it. And if Chelsea are really, the number one for him and he's the number one for them, I think we need to get excited by that. I think that will be a wonderful striker for us. Will he fit into the Premier League? It's left to be seen, but Didier Drogba didn't start off in the Premier League, although his starting with Chelsea was a little bit rocky. Um, Somehow, I don't think Osimhen will go down that road. There are lots of people, ex-Chelsea players, that are there advising him, encouraging him, and they will tell him what to expect from the Premier League, and he has to apply himself. One thing I
Mhm.
did find interesting, because in the African Cup of Nations, there's certain African nations I find myself drawn to watching, probably because of the name they have for themselves. Nigeria is one, Cameroon is one, Egypt, the usual sort of suspects. Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, definitely. I just like to see how they do in their continental competition. So, of
Mhm.
course, a game between Nigeria and Cameroon with their reputation, definitely people would watch. And I watched a good deal of that game, not all of it, but a good deal of it. And one thing I found really interesting, I don't know if people actually remember Lookman when he was with Everton. Although he was a lot younger, he came through their youth system. He was a lot younger, and there was a time Chelsea were flirting with the idea of maybe bringing him to Stamford Bridge. But he wasn't particularly good. He was good at dribbling, but he was one of those players that would run over the ball, and his finishing was left to be seen and left to be desired. But for his national team, my goodness, he's the main man. He's another player. Now I guess he's matured. I don't know who he's playing for now. I don't know who Lookman's playing for now, his club
I think
side,
it's in
but
Germany. He plays in Germany. I can't remember what
oh,
club. Let
German.
me yeah, go ahead, Bobby. Go ahead.
But it was interesting watching him yesterday, and of course, Osimhen was quite instrumental to a lot of the attacking movement. So I'm watching Osimhen as a Chelsea prospective,
Mhm.
not perspective. Yeah, we should be pleased if he is indeed going to come to us. And I'm glad we're playing the waiting game. And if we do get a striker at this late hour in the transfer window in January, it won't be anything other than a short-term loan or a cheap, experienced person. I'm thinking of this guy from Villa to tide us over to the summer. That's how I see it, and that's how it should be. But do we need a striker? Back to your initial question, absolutely, of course we do.
All right, thank you so much. And by the way, Antonio Nusa, that we were interested in signing him last transfer window. I think he's on the verge of joining. Is it Nottingham Forest? I think a Premier League club. I can't quite remember. But let's move on. Yes, only
Oh,
PSC. I think it's
another Chelsea interest last night, coach. Ola Aina. I don't know if you remember him. He came through our youth
yeah, I
system.
remember him. Played for
Uh,
Chelsea, played in Italy, came back to
yeah.
England, played for Nottingham Forest. I think he currently played. What does it? Is it still Nottingham Forest?
Yeah, he's with Nottingham Forest, and
Yeah,
he's
but he
doing
played
well
for
with
Fulham
them.
also. Yeah.
And he was man of the match. Now, I'm not saying I would want him back at Chelsea. I think our right backs are just a little bit, levels above him. But it's nice to see our academy prospects are doing well in their career. Certainly not against us, but if you know what I mean. And I think he played well last night.
Yeah, he's always been a good player. Yeah, on the PSC, I think Osimhen can be a new face of them. I'm going to say this again, and I've said it before. I don't think he's Lucha's type of player. He's not a bad player, but he's not. Lucha is not known to walk with the stereotypical number nines. And the cement is that, except he hasn't played, you can say, played in any club where he played for a long period of time, and you can say he played more of the role of a hybrid number nine. But I don't know. That's not me saying he's a bad player. I'm quite sure you understand my point. Hello to YouTube in a while. As for the transfer news, Osimhen is a good striker, but for that amount and how badly we need a striker, I have doubts about the cost. Okay. Let's see. But nice to see you. More importantly, Sheila, I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Thank you so much for that. Chelsea Ultra, good morning to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. What would be a team and cost around £112 million, or less than we paid for Moises Caicedo? If Enrique doesn't like a same style, I wonder what he's doing with Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson is completely different, and I responded with that there. So let me see. 110 rules out a lot of clubs. Let's want to see what you have here. You say they have a lot of flair and fast players, but they don't have a proper number nine. Look back. Tell me when, at what point have you seen Luis Enrique play with the same type of number nine? And if you mention Luis Suarez, no, he's not that type of number nine. He's a bit different. Ramos has flopped so far. He will simply move Colomwani to Mbappe's position and play a number nine. Maybe we'll find out. But I hope you understand my point right there. Yeah. Let's what else we have. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. Good afternoon to you two DJs. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I'm going to try to catch up with what we have and move to the next item. Osimhen is impressive. His movement is impressive. His power, everything suits the Premier League. I think he would do well in the Premier League. And just as I told Bobby, I wouldn't judge him with just a few games in AFCON. There are all that things he did and did correctly, and he's a human being. But I don't know if it will break the wage structure for him. I think Osimhen would do what's right for himself. More importantly, yep, he will follow the money, especially if the disparity between what we're offering him and what other clubs are offering him is too much to ignore. He will take that one. So there's no way to say for certain that Chelsea is his next destination, but you could argue, given what we're seeing, drama in his ears every time again, post-game, pre-game, what we're hearing, and the fact that De Laurentiis here mentions De Laurentiis named the Real Madrid PSG top Premier League club, top Premier League club. He didn't say clubs. And I'm thinking maybe it's just him helping the others keep things under wraps as I've learned they want to be doing these days. But that's a small opinion anyway. We move on. PSG has Ramos and Callum Wilson. Keisha, nice to see you. And DJ, just having a good conversation there. I'm going to scroll past quite a few. If all other large bonuses will be okay. Yeah, incentivized contract. I think that's the language. I might correct me if I'm wrong, which we're doing that with Enzo Fernandez and all the new signings at that club. Osimhen, that. Let's see, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Chelsea are interested in Lewis, Jonathan David. I did see that too, but thank you for that update, DJ. I think it was, but thank you for sharing that. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, we don't need Duran. Yeah, we've moved on from Duran a long time ago. We've heard that our club, we aren't really interested in signing him. Just having good conversation there. Nusa gone to Brentford. Okay, Brentford. Okay, correct. Thank you for that. Keep the topics aligned, people. If you want me to address what you have here, otherwise I will assume you're having a good conversation with a community member there in the chat. We were getting Osimhen for sure. We were. Yeah. And that's the vote. Nice to see you, brother. The vote says, what's your African Nations Cup? Nigeria, of course, my birth country. Yeah. And this year, they've not been that entertaining. They've been more direct than usual. Nigeria is known to be entertaining in competition. You can see individual entertainment from individuals now and then, but not like the typical Nigerian team. Sorry, deleted my message on chat regarding David, but it still gets read because in the back end, it's not showing as deleted. But out of respect and because you're my bro and friend, I had to read it. Osimhen is superb. I watched him yesterday. Powerful. He led by example. That's what I like. He didn't score, but he led by example and made an assist. That's huge. But that's not me saying. Here's the thing. The question now is, given everything you've heard, this is a question for those of you in the chat. Given everything you've seen, you've heard drama always in his ears. Post-game, pre-game, Mikel's comments suggesting he'd be the one to broker the deal that will bring him to Chelsea. And we've seen some reports suggesting that he's chosen Chelsea Football Club. And we've seen some reports saying that the manager wants him and all that. Given those things you've seen, do you really think some people actually, some content creators are saying that we have a pre-contract agreement with him already? So let's hear you. Do you think the deal is done? Do you think we're still working behind the scenes? Whatever you think is the case, let's hear you. It'd be interesting to see what you have to say. Let's see. Of course, our coach's powers, just like he manipulates the polls. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go great. Let's see what else we have. Yeah, JC, pick up everyone. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have 34 likes. We can do much, much better than that. And for those of you that are following the show on Instagram or X, formerly known as Twitter, or maybe Facebook, we appreciate you. And that's because you watching alone does go a long way. But we want to, again, we want you to do us one favor, one tiny bitty favor, which is to take a second and drop a like on the stream for us. And that's because the more likes we're gonna, the more YouTube algorithm will be triggered to push the stream the stream to more people who would be interested in the topics we have lined up here. So thank you, and thank you so much. Bobby, coming to you, the same question I've asked the chat is this. Given what we've seen, what we've heard, what Drogba is doing, there's hardly a game that Nigeria has played that we haven't seen him with Osimhen pre-game, post-game. And sometimes use cameras on him in-game. Him understands smiling whenever Osimhen makes those powerful moves. That's you can say Drogba-esque, so to speak. You see him smile and happy as if he's enjoying it, as if he's saying in his mind, "That's the guy for Chelsea." And everything we've heard, do you think there's a chance we're working on the deal behind the scenes, as some people suggest? And Terry, the football terrorist guy, how do you pronounce his last name? Is that Flewis or Flowers? I don't know. He's suggesting that the deal is actually sealed. Flewis, okay. So, Bobby, what do you think? Do you think the same? Do you think we're working on it behind the scenes? Or do you think it's actually he's already put pen to paper for us? We just don't want to make it public right now. Let's hear you, Bobby. What do you think?
You know, Coach, I'm not going to pretend I know the answer to that.
But what do you think? What do you think?
I think it's very possible. I think it's very possible. You know, people like Drogba, Mikel, we all know how they feel about Chelsea. And if they're talking to him about any club at all, it would be Chelsea. Is he prepared to take the wage structure that Chelsea will offer him? That's the thing, because I don't think, you know, he's a player that wants to reach the very, very top of his career. He wants to really be in neon lights. So I don't think he will go to Saudi yet. And I don't think he'll go to PSG either. Simply because, not that PSG will not pay him a king's ransom, but the league, compared to the Premier League, which is what is mentioned that he wants to go to, is...
and he's played in French league already.
Sorry?
He's played in France already.
Well, then that's another disadvantage. Real Madrid, would he want to go to them at this point in his career? That's possible. That's a competition, depending on how much they need him. Now, do Real Madrid need a striker as badly as Chelsea? You know, I think a player at this point of his career and at this point of his development would be better off going to Chelsea than the cauldron and the ruthless environment that is Real Madrid, as we saw what happened to Hazard and numerous other players that didn't quite become the world beater immediately that the Madrid fans demand, especially foreign players. I think, as somebody, as an African player, a young player, a player that wants to play in a league that would really appreciate him, that has, I'm not saying we don't have our racial issues in this country, of course we do, but it's not as bad as in places like, dare I say, Italy, which he's experienced himself, Spain, and that. I think the Premier League would be very welcoming to him. The only thing he has to worry about is the opposition team and the opposition defenders, which, you know, comes in as part of the sport. And of course, the officials, if you're playing for Chelsea, but that's all part of the sport. So I think it's looking very positive. But, you know, football, you know, a transfer is not done until it's done. But if you ask me, having Drogba there, who clearly likes him, and whoever else as an ex-Chelsea African player who clearly like him and who he would clearly respect and look up to, I think those signs are very good for us. I really do. But you and I both know that a transfer is not done until it's done.
Yep, until which is to simplify it, until you see the player holding the shirt, taking a picture, put pen to paper and all that. But yeah, we can only speculate. Or maybe try to come to a sensible conclusion, given everything we have out there. But thank you, Bobby. I sincerely do appreciate that. And big up Tawana, Kike. Always nice to see you, Nuhu. I appreciate you finding time to join us this particular morning. Let's see what else we have here. Keep dropping the lights on the stream. Why would he take a pay cut because of Mikel and a job? Why he needs it to pay his bills? I don't think he takes a pay cut to come to us. I think, like we talked about, but it depends. I think I've said this already. It depends on the disparity between how much we're offering him and how much other clubs are offering him. It would take a lot to make a difference to the extent where he decides, okay, you know what, I'm going there, and it's because of money. You have to pay something in the, you can say more than, you can say it should be nearly 100,000 difference. It wouldn't be for just 10,000 or 7,000 or 20,000, in my opinion. But you get my point there. But you're making a good point too. Let's see, keep dropping the likes on the stream, on the stream, people. The likes that do go a long way. Will Chelsea pay 100 million plus for Osimhen? Yeah, and I'll tell you what would be most likely be the only issue. But I'll get to that in a bit. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes that do go a long way. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Just saying hello to Nuhu there. And this says the Drogba has no relationship with the new owners. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. He has good relationship with the fan base. He knows we love him. He knows the fans love him. So it doesn't matter. And chances are, I think you're saying that he doesn't have good relationship with them. It's just you speculating. That's because he said openly, I don't recognize my club. For me, if anything, there's something for the owners to learn from him as a club's legend. So I wouldn't go to the extent of saying, yeah, just one second. I wouldn't go to the extent of saying he doesn't have a good relationship with the owners. No, that's just you speculating, given what he said in the public. Let's say you are Bobby.
Respond to that, because that's a
Go ahead.
tainted comment, and you know me and tainted comments. Drogba doesn't need to have a good relationship with the owners. I know that's not true that he doesn't. You know, he came out and spoke his mind. Every Chelsea fan sometimes speaks their mind, and sometimes it could be not what the owners want to hear, and sometimes it would challenge the owners. I think when he came out and he said, and I quote, I don't recognize this Chelsea, it was a perfectly reasonable thing to say. We were not playing well. We were all over the place. Our transfers, this was even last season, he said this, not this season. Our transfers were not really performing as they should. And he was like, well, what's going on here? We're not that club. And
he wasn't actually specifically critical of the new owners.
No, he wasn't. Exactly, he wasn't. Now, the owners respect him as they do all the Chelsea greats. And if he speaks to, he may not even be speaking to the Chelsea side of things at all, for the purpose of not getting Chelsea in trouble or being accused of tapping up or looking like an agent. But nothing stops him as a professional footballer, as a former African Footballer of the Year, as an ex-African international, talking to and encouraging and mentoring a young African player who's the current African Footballer of the Year. And whatever he says to that player is his business. You see what I'm saying? Now, if he's telling the player, hey, look, join Chelsea, just like any other ex player of any other top club will do, you can't knock him for that. You can't knock Chelsea for that. And you can't say, oh, he doesn't have the right to do it, or, oh, he doesn't have a good relationship with the ownership. That's almost a nonsense. It's irrelevant. He has a good relationship with Chelsea Football Club. He wants Chelsea Football Club to be successful. And each and every single one of these ex-players try in their own little way, just like you and me, to contribute to that. You know, we do it through through the platforms and the things we say. We're trying in our own little way, even if it's something we enjoy, to contribute to Chelsea, at least them knowing that they have a fan base, their fan base do talk about them, and not all of them are knocking them. So I don't think that's a worthy, I won't say a worthy statement, because every statement is worthy. Everybody has their opinion, as you always say, Coach. But I don't
Yeah.
think it's accurate. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't think it's accurate either, and that's because if anything, they would want to reach out to him and ask, what can we do to, you could say, to fix it? Because yeah, he's a legend, and in my opinion, he again, and I've said this before, he wasn't specifically critical of the New Orleans. He just spoke his mind publicly, and people took it and ran with it. For me, I don't think that will in any way affect his relationship. Here's the thing: do I think Chelsea can afford a Osimhen? I think we can. I think probably the issue will only be us wanting a favorable payment structure from Napoli, which I think, if anything, would be pushing to get that done now, then to probably in a way that we do Napoli a favor, have them keep, but that doesn't make sense. And that's because we've been told that clause by the release clause will be active in the summer. So
Yeah,
I don't think
Coach.
we'll be doing them any favor. So, but I
Coach,
think we'll have issue with the payment structure, or could make an exception given its importance to us right now and what we need. But go ahead, let's hear you, Bobby.
But do you know what? I'm not even sure there will be a problem with the payment structure. It's quite simply stretched over
Mm.
5 years because of FFP. Every club will want that. Every club will be asking for that. Certainly every European club, because the FFP 5 year structure is now taken up by the by UEFA. So everybody will want to spread a 5 year payment structure to
Yeah,
fit
that's
a
us. But how about
yeah,
Napoli?
well,
That's us.
let me
We would
just
want
land.
that, but would
To
Napoli
let
agree?
let me just land. Everybody will
Hmm.
want a 5 year payment structure to fit a 5 year contract with the player. Now, will Napoli want that? I don't think Napoli have a choice. They've already said the player is leaving in the summer. They increased. He agreed to sign an increased contract in order for them to set this release clause. Now, what have I don't think that will be the issue. I think the issue will be one of wages. You know, they have covered themselves for at least 5 years in the 120, 100 and whatever million required for the player. If they're stupid enough to say, "Oh no, we're not going to agree. We're going to want the, for example, 120 million up front, or he's going nowhere," well, more fool them. If he stays another season, they won't get 120 million. His value will go right down, and it was a waste of time setting a release clause. So I think they have made their move, and they've just told anybody, if you want him, that's it, make your move. Now, if you're coming
But
and
here's
you're
something that we have to be at the back of our mind, Bobby, says,
yeah,
we're not the only club interested. There are other clubs, and which makes it
yes,
possible that other clubs will come and say, okay, they want to pay you, they want to make the payments in 4 installments. We want to make it in two. So that makes it difficult for us. If
yeah.
we're talking like about a player that has no other suitors, then it'd be easy to say if they don't sell him to us, then they are risking losing
What
the
do you
player
mean?
out of free.
Yeah, I mean, that is a speculation that I don't know how realistic that is. Okay, unless the clubs are more desperate than or more anxious than Chelsea to land a striker, which is possible. You know, Arsenal might feel getting him is the be all and end all. And they may turn around, for example, and say, "Oh, we'll pay you in two installments rather than one." But you see, that then becomes poor accounting, because as we've seen, especially in the Premier League, the fit and proper persons rule that the Premier League is wielding quite severely has stopped everybody from making big purchases this January. Now, are you, knowing that and knowing Arsenal is one of the clubs that's sailing close to the wind, as is Newcastle, as is even Man United? Now, are you now going to ignore that and then say, "Oh, we're going to pay in two installments"? It's not really likely. Now, the comeback to be, well, Arsenal are going to offload players. Okay, fine. Offload where? To who? For what? Are people really go? Everybody knows that people want to balance their books. and it's going to affect the prices they set, especially in the Premier League. That's what's the problem with if Chelsea were that desperate with selling Gallagher.
Mhm.
We've set our price, but people don't want to meet it because they want to see us struggling in financial issues. Now, unless they're absolutely desperate for that Gallagher as a player and the Gallagher type of player, they're not going to meet that demand. They're just not. They're just going to wait for the contract to run down. And the same will be for Osimhen. Now, unless you're absolutely desperate, which is possible though, coach, I hear you. Your point is valid, but I don't see it, to be honest. I think every club will say, this is how we're going to pay for him. The issue with Osimhen will be one of wages, not one of purchase, if you get my point. And that's where the competition will be. Napoli have made their move and it's cast in stone. The only people that are going to shift from that will be the Saudis. But, there's one thing agreeing to a club wanting to buy your player, is another thing for your player who's under contract agreeing to go there.
All right, thanks so much for that, Chelsea. So Siemens trust, that's according to Jakat. We'll find out. So no need to even fight over that. Joba is Chelsea through and through. Being best friends with the owners doesn't matter. The fans, more importantly. Even if he doesn't have a good relationship with the owners, I think he has a good relationship with the fans. And it's the same with striker deal for him. Let's see what happens. Just having responding to Vic there. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, be with the likes to go along with Arsenal not outbeating us. Real Madrid getting them back. He already won the French league. Why go back there? I think we already talked about that. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Funny, you are talking about ex-players, a relationship with the current owners when all of them have been kept outside. You are speculating more than me. Maybe there's a chance I'm speculating more than you. But they had what was that again? More of a should I call it end of the year or something? Lots of the ex-players were there. A lot of them were there, and we've seen the Todd Bowley and Mikel again in a photo, not just up to a week ago. So here's the thing: he spoke his mind, and that's how I see it. But that doesn't mean the fact maybe he's saying that doesn't mean he's not talking with the owners. We don't know. This is serious. It seems to seem it's actually coming. Maybe we don't know. We can only try to come to a sensible conclusion. For me, if we're going by everything we've heard, let's assume they're all telling the outlets are all telling the truth. May it just points to those things point to him coming to Chelsea. But you cannot be too certain about that. Drogba or ex-players love and support for Chelsea doesn't mean they are working actively for Chelsea. We're saying the same thing. Vic was saying the same thing. Lampard did nothing to convince Mount to stay, for example. Yeah, that's another good example. So that's why we're saying everything. We can only speculate. We're not sure. Chances are,
Can I respond to that?
Just quickly, Bobby, just quickly. Chances are Drogba has a connection with PSG and they've gotten him to help convince him to come to PSG. You never know, which I think that's not even possible. Lampard did nothing to convince Mount, and the Mount case is different. And you did talk about that. Mount followed the money. And you don't even know whether Lampard was the one that told him if they can't pay up, just leave. You earn a lot more at United. There's no way to know whether that happened. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It is speculative in a large part, but it's not speculative ridiculously because these players have hinted that they are encouraging certain players like Osimhen to join Chelsea to start off with. They're not going to come out and say, "Oh, we're telling Osimhen to join Chelsea." That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be so descriptive because it could create some issues, both for them, maybe even for the club, because the club may be accused of using them as proxy agents, which they want to distance themselves for. They've hinted it. They've hosted them in certain programs vis-a-vis Mikel, and he's outright told him. So I don't know, those thirsty for a Chelsea scandal will never want to admit that these ex-players are indeed encouraging players to join Chelsea. You know, that they don't have the final decision because it's not their career. It's not them, but they can in a friendship way. It's just like if I can turn around to you, coach, and say, hey, you know, coach, can you do your streaming at 6 p.m. UK time? You know, we'll get more people on from the UK and so on. Now, it's up to you to take it or not because it's your stream. But you will listen to me. Why? Because I'd like to think we're friends. So that's and you may value some of the points I make. So you will listen and I will speak, and then the final decision remains yours because it's your channel, if you know what I'm saying. So this is the same thing with these players. You know, they will listen, they respect these ex-players, but the ex-players have absolutely no control over ultimately who they'll go to. And if I may add, somebody was saying something about Drogba and PSG. I don't know about that. I know certainly Drogba and Marseille, because it was Marseille that we got him from. But I don't know if he has a relationship with PSG. I know he used to like to score against them. And I know he started with Guingamp, or is it Guingamp, the French sort of academy institution. But Drogba, I don't think he has a relationship with PSG, to be honest. And if he does, I don't see it as a strong one because he was known for his time at Marseille and at the Guingamp institution and definitely at Chelsea.
Yep, and seeing Mr. C, nice to see you. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. Owners try to keep him. Let's see what else we have here. We want one striker now. Let's see what the club does. Mr. Tiwari, it's up to them. Seeing how nice to see you again. Let's see what else we have here. If Pochettino couldn't get Gallagher a new deal, not to talk of ex-players convincing the owners, I think you're actually. Yeah, I think you're taking people's speculations that Drogba is trying to help the club sign a player, or we believe in that's the case. You're taking it too seriously. That doesn't mean the fact that people believe, or the fact that we are speculating that Drogba is trying to help the club sign him. All Drogba can do is just tell him, I think you need to go to Chelsea. Just like what Mikel said during one of his podcast episodes. It's the same thing. It doesn't differ. But that doesn't mean certainly that Osimhen will say, okay, you know what, I'm coming to Chelsea just because Mikel told him to or Drogba told him to. I think we're just looking into it more than we should, in my opinion. But thank you there for the contributions. I appreciate that. New deal will be likely. I'm not sure. Vic knows. Okay, I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to scroll to the very bottom and now try to catch your subsequent contributions in the chat. Let's see what else we are. Okay, just having a conversation there. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up. But I like this sort of conversation because it makes you think beyond the normal and think intellectually, or make you find a better way to explain why you think some things are the way they are. But that's by the way. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. People keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I think this comes next. We've addressed this one, and this one here we haven't. Victor Osimhen favors a move to Chelsea this summer. Source Sacha Tavoleri. I don't know who that is, but it sounds like an Italian outlet. So there are so many stuff, so many things out there that if you try to actually pay attention to all of them, you'd lose your mind. That's because they're everywhere. This one, I don't know this outlet, and I can't say I trust it. And some have actually taken this particular report and are running with it. Some are saying he's chosen Chelsea, he's coming to Chelsea, Osimhen to Chelsea is done. But I say be cautious. Be cautious. We've seen worse before, and as probably advice, until you see the player holding the shirt, he's put pen to paper, and we get an announcement from the club. That's when you know it's really done. But right now, we can only speculate. It's as simple as that. No matter what the source that you see that's presented this report to us. This one, this is my first time of seeing this. But there are multiple sources out there reporting that, yeah, same thing, that he's chosen to join Chelsea. There's no way to confirm if that's the truth. Once again, we can only speculate. What else do we have here? Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Coach. You might as well believe Rich Money Makers. Yeah, everything is breaking news. Everything is breaking news. And Constantine Dante, I wanted to joke with you a bit. Let me go back to this. I think it is this one, not that one. This one here, maybe this one. Where's that one in particular? Okay, I'll come back to this. This is still him and Drama. Okay, that was supposed to be the next one after all. But this one here, you looked at the picture the last time we had something similar. You made up something. You made up something saying you think that was what Enzo Fernandez was telling Mauricio Pochettino. So I want you now to give it a shot. Tell us what you think Drogba is telling him here, and I'll tell you what I think he's telling him there myself. You can say what I think Osimhen is thinking. Since you're into that, maybe you're a psychic. Let's hear you. Look at the picture once more. Let me hear you. What do you think Drogba is telling him here, or what do you think he's told him here? I want to hear you, really. Look at it, Constantine Dante. If you're watching, what's going on here? The picture just went away. There you go. There you go, the picture here. I know you can see it. So tell us, what do you think he's telling him? And I'll tell you what I think Osimhen is thinking as he's listening to Drogba speak. Yeah, let's just play around the beat there. But that's by the way, let's move on to the next item we have lined up as soon as possible. We have qualified for Champions League. We have to, I think you're saying that. Let's see what else we have here. This is saying, Coach, if it is true, do a giveaway. Yeah, contribute and we'll do it. Let's see what else we have here. Java looks a bit shocked on that video. Like he's not listening to him, right? He's telling him one thing and he's smiling and letting him know I have to go where I get paid more. But not what we can only speculate even more. But that's by the way, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 39 likes. We should be doing way better than that. Let's try and see if we can get it to 100 likes. Liverpool time flights. Let's see what else we have here. In the picture, he's saying, bro, you signed the CFC contract yet? He's saying no. Yeah, for me, my opinion is mine. Or maybe his response at the time was, nope, that's because I have better offer somewhere else. So that's the sort of way of illustrating that all we can do is speculate, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have here. Another picture there. That's a Didier Drogba. That's a video after the game. He met him. Yep. Did he win man of the match? Because the other picture looked as if they were standing in front of a podium. Let's see if they show us where he stopped. Okay, just a repeat, and so we don't need that. But that's by the way, we're not too sure what's going on. We're not too sure what sort of conversation they're having. We can only speculate. So let's move on to the next item we have lined up here, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Let's go, people. Let's go. All right. Here's this one. I don't think Constantine Dante will be happy for this one here. This is saying that Chelsea have rejected a proposal from Fulham for Armando Broja. No counter offer expected as of now. But yeah, how much? Like Kamal here, the first comment here is saying how much, and he responded saying unknown, but did hit valuation believed it to be around £40 million. I don't think we're serious about selling Armando Broja, and the manager has spoken openly. He values the player, compared him to Harry Kane. That you could say that could, before being truthful, there's a chance that could be just him. That could be just him hyping the player, so that that could be him hyping the player so that we can get a sizable fee from his side. That may well be the case. You don't know, but I don't know. I don't think we'd sell him without us being sure that we're bringing in a replacement this window, because it'll be a huge risk to sell him, even if you think it's not good enough for Chelsea, and not have you can say, and just rely on Nkunku and Jackson when they come back. I think we need numbers, as we've probably must have learned of late. But Bobby, let's hear you. This is still Simon Phillips saying Chelsea have rejected a proposal from Fulham for Armando Broja. We've heard that if we get a sizable offer, that we're going to sell him. But let's see, what do you make of this particular report?
I don't know, Coach. It could be true. It could be true. I have my doubts. I really do, because I believe sometimes some of these journalists, they want to create a market, especially when one doesn't exist. I certainly have to say that. And I'm with you. I don't think Chelsea are particularly keen on selling or loaning Broja, certainly not this window. And certainly if there's no replacement, I mean, it's possible they might do it, but what's the benefit to the club? What sense does it make loaning Broja? If somebody came and dropped 40 million, then, you know, I can understand why they would take it if they feel they need to for the purpose of the books. But to suddenly just loan him because journalists want him out of Chelsea, it's there are many red flags there for me in terms of the truthfulness of that report.
And do you see that happening without the club having a plan for an immediate replacement? I don't see that happening. It just
No,
doesn't
I
make
don't.
sense. Whether you
I
think
don't.
he's good enough for Chelsea or not, it wouldn't make sense to let him go without a plan for a replacement. But let's hear you.
I don't see it happening. I mean, these are the sort of things that I challenged him about, and he got upset because I was, really hitting the nail on the head. I don't see it happening. It doesn't mean to say it's a falsehood, but to me, there's a red flag, and I smell a falsehood. I don't see it. It just makes no sense whatsoever in terms of a loan. Now, if Fulham, which I doubt, are dropping 40, 50 million on the table and saying, let's talk, then, they're tempting the club to take a risk. But I don't see that either. So, no, for me, it's a false story, I have to say.
All right, thank you so much for that. I'll come back to you again. Let's see. Yeah, coach, a final offers, a first offer of £20 million. So they will come back with a latter offer, but no way anyone is paying more than a 30. And I think we have had the conversation with regards to Chelsea's valuation of Armando Broja around the value him. What was that? If I can remember, the same way Haaland is valued. I heard something similar. Is it Haaland or Højlund? The Manchester United player.
It was
So
Højlund.
maybe we're not looking to sell him right now. Go ahead, Bobby.
It was Højlund, and Højlund went for
Was it
about
Højlund?
80 million. Yeah.
How much?
80 to Man United.
80 to Man United. So it's either two things. Either we really do want to sell him, or we're saying, okay, if we have to sell him now, it has to be something special, something sizable. You can say, yeah, but I'm not too sure what to make of that particular report. Let's keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Broja came back from injury. And I think this is a good player, him, but do we have the luxury to wait for him to show the sort of form he showed before he got injured? I don't know. In my opinion, we don't. But the honest chances are they think otherwise. But we'll find out in due time. For me, 25 million should sell. I can put a clause for protection, a selling clause. That's just like we did for Tino Livramento when he Newcastle United purchased him. We got a sizable fee from that. I think around nearly £20 million. I can't quite remember. So maybe we should do that, but I don't see us selling him if we don't have plans for an immediate replacement for him right now. It just doesn't make any sort of sense. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. It's as good as Roger was on his days. And Roger, if you're listening, I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you. Hopefully the case is that you've been busy and nothing wrong is going on your end. We'll find out very soon. Yeah, because we're close to the end of the transfer window. Let's move on to the next item. We have lined up, people. 40 likes. Let's see if we can get it to 100 today. No church for me today, so we can stay here for a marathon show. If it gets interesting, because we're approaching, we have a few days before the transfer window shuts, and chances are some news could emerge, and the rest assured, this will be the first place you'll hear about it if that happens. Let's see. Roger, equal to Broja. Let's see. No club will overpay for Broja. It's an obvious risk. Why take it? Or you could argue probably we don't want to sell him, Vic. What do you think? Do you really think we want to sell him? I don't think so. But let's see. And plus, you can say we have him down on a long-term contract, so we're not going to be too much in a hurry to sell him. But that's a small opinion anyway. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's go. Have things also from Simon Phillips. He's saying Michael Olise completely open to joining Chelsea. His brother plays here. Blues put a lot of groundwork in on his on this already last season. I agree that's believable given the fact that he was close to joining us until Crystal Palace threatened to report us to somebody I can't quite remember. Other clubs keen, but no decision over even closer from him in his reps yet. Chelsea all in for Olise. Okay. I didn't expect us to go all in, all back in it for him, but he's for me at this point you can argue Olise is injury prone, and that's a huge risk. I don't know. When you say, if you're in the chat, what do you make of this particular report? When you say that we're fine in that department, in my opinion, and why risk? And probably we would be overpaying for him. Dante, Vic, all of you in the chat, what do you make of this report? Discussing, saying that we're still interested in signing Michael Olise. That's not going to be easy. That's what I think will happen. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Wish this Osimhen is real. I hope so. I hope it happens. You get it, Dante. Yeah, money heist indeed. But let's see you, Bobby. Olise to Chelsea won't go away, and according to Simon Phillips, we're still all in for him. He's not going to come sign the new contract, but I'm not sure his current release clause. While you speak, I'll try to find out if I can see anything that reviews his the release clause on his new contract.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Olise is an interesting one. His disadvantage is, yes, he is injury prone. It's quite clear he's almost like Osimhen in that Palace saw the initial release clause they had for him was very low when they looked at the market. They then took his family to ransom and got him to sign a new contract. I'm joking. Disclaimer.
And Michael himself, they took him to ransom.
Yeah, because when you saw him signing that contract, it was almost a situation of blink twice if you need help, and I could see his eyes blinking millions of times. Anyway, it wasn't a natural situation. Let's put it that way. And yes, he signed it, and now they can make more money on him, which I think they're prepared to do. I don't know. Simon Phillips has been saying there's a big interest from Chelsea, and, maybe rightly so. I don't know. But I also read from, those guys that do Team Talk, that very Man United stroke Liverpool biased website. And it's their prerogative, but it annoys me when people try and pretend to be even-handed, whereas it's very obvious that you have an allegiance. I think that's so deceitful, and I don't respect that at all. If you support a team, come out and say it. This is why I like Terry Fleurs on the Football Terrace. He will tell you, pump and plain, I'm a Man United fan. He loves Man United, always has been Man United. So you know what to expect. And yet the funny thing about him is that he is the most even-handed content creator in terms of those that cover other clubs that's out there. He really is. And yeah, he has his bias.
He is as objective as can be.
He is, for a Man United fan, especially. Sometimes he goes a little bit and you can see the Man United coming out of him, but I don't mind that because he's told us the truth from the off. And if you don't like it, you leave his space. It's as simple as that. But these ones that pretend, oh, we're just in it for football, vis-a-vis Sky Sports that's charging us money to watch them. And I'm so angry about it. You know, be even-handed if that's your mantra. Don't pretend to be something, and under even-handedness by stealth, you're promoting specific clubs. Man United, Liverpool, or Arsenal. I hate that, and I think that is fraudulent. But going aside, yeah, I'm going back. I'm going off track because I get really upset about that. Yeah, Olise to Chelsea is possible. That certainly won't be something we'll be looking at before the summer. I've heard Man United are interested. The Team Talk website claim it's done, that Ratcliffe, that's something he's already done for Man United. I have my doubts because Team Talk come up with a load of nonsense sometimes. And Simon Phillips, okay, this one. Is it possible? Well, the fact that we went for him before, we're usually a club that if we've got an eye on a player, we had an eye on him for a reason, and we'll still be mulling over if it's worth going back. So that is logical, but will we go back? That's left to be seen. Do we need him? We might find that our priority is more for a central striker than anywhere else. I don't know. It depends on who's sold in the summer. It depends on so many factors that we won't know till the summer, but it's possible, yes.
And here's the thing. In my opinion, I think we have it's the numbers in that department. Plus, also, I was shocked that we pulled out. We triggered the then release clause. Why we pulled out, I just don't know. Maybe because they threatened to report us. I'm not too sure what to make of it. But that's, by the way, Coach, why do we need so many wingers? So some surely will need to be sold. Yeah, if we're going to sign Olise, I don't think we can loan them all out, especially if they're the ones that are beyond the age of 21 or so. I can't quite, I'm not well acquainted with the rules, but it just doesn't make sense. What are the pathways for these kids to make it into the first team or continue developing properly? We did activate Olise's release clause at the time, but then he signed a new contract, made that void. We are definitely tracking him and want him. So we're serious for saying. But it just doesn't, it would be a signing that wouldn't make sense as much as I think he's a good player, or maybe better than some of the players we have in that department. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. 43 likes. Let's try and see if we can get it to 100 by the time the show ends. There's no need for Olise. We've got Angelo Gabriel, who's also an excellent left-footed player. Let's see what else we have here. There's a release clause in the new contract as well, but that has not been reviewed, so we don't know. So if it has not been reviewed, probably not so much. Maybe not as probably not too much. Probably something they are concerned that if they make it public, probably someone would trigger it immediately. But we don't know. Let's find out. Kendra Pies, that kid from Jamaica. What's his name again? Noni Palmer.
No,
Why do we need
Whisper Richards.
Sorry?
Whisper Richards.
Yeah, Whispers. Yep, Bobby,
Yeah.
that's correct. Yeah.
These are all very, very valid points, which makes me doubt the story. But I didn't want to make it look like I've got this thing against Simon Phillips. So I said it's possible, because it is possible. But, you know, you and I can see it's not likely. It's not likely. We've got enough. And the Michael Olise ship may have sailed, unless they are convinced that he is the immediate fix we need. Okay, you know, he is a good player when he's fit. He is, but I don't know. I don't know if we're really looking at him with the intensity that's being claimed. Another red flag, coach. I was trying to avoid that, but you see these journos, really, really. And this is what someone, I challenged this guy. You know, way back, this must have been at least well over 10 years ago. He was coming out with some absolute nonsense. And I told him, mate, what are you talking about? And I gave it back to him, and his answer was, right, I'm blocking this guy, which I think is also, that says everything about you, because I wasn't insultive. I just went direct. And if he really was somebody that was giving out substance, he would have just responded directly, and, you know, it's fine. Football's about opinions, and with opinions, you argue sometimes. If you have a valid opinion,
and usually, if you're being objective, you don't shy away from responses.
Exactly.
Because if you're being objective, you wait for responses. When somebody says something, you respond
You
because you
respond.
believe you're being objective.
You're only too
Yeah,
happy because you've got the receipts. If you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, you're
yeah,
receipted. But he
yeah.
was exposed, and rather than, you see, this is another thing. You know, I'm not blowing smoke up Terry Fleur's backside. I've challenged Terry on many occasions, and honestly, I have to say, this is why I respect him. He has not blocked me or sometimes he doesn't let me come on his panel because he knows what I'm about, but it's always very objective. And when I corner him, he backs off, or he might say something, okay, maybe you're right, or he really is an objective guy, and I have a lot of time for him, even as a Man United fan. And I've got someone who claims to be Chelsea spouting a load of rubbish and being challenged, and rather than show his receipts or hold his hands up and say, okay, mate, I've missed it, he blocks me. And he blocks me, why? Because he's a brown envelope. Simple.
All right, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Sincerely do appreciate you all. Olise is good right wing and in a 10 as well. But like I keep saying, can we please only sign a young world class players? So from now on, yeah, let's see what happens. Olise and Eze are the highest paid players at Crystal Palace. They won't be in any rush for a move unless it suits a Palace. That's another thing. Also, big up to you too, Moneke. SC, brother, I hope you're doing well. Listen, I think was supposed to be here originally in plans, so that's why we still want him. Let's see what happens, but plans can change. Yeah, like this, actually. Let's see. Isn't Whispers a striker? I'm not too sure what position he plays in, and I actually don't know Whispers that well. That's just me. Olise is coach. He's a fine player, but yeah, Olise has the type of skills that completely changes games. Let's see, Bobby, what
It's
happened
a
again with
shame Ty's
Simon
not. It's a shame
Phillips?
Ty's not on the panel because he'll really tell us about Whispers. You know, I think
Mm-hmm,
Whispers is slightly more long term because he's only going to be of age to come to Chelsea around the summertime, I believe. So he
mm-hmm.
really is new, and that won't really get in the way of a purchase of someone like Olise. But we've got Angelo Gabriel already doing his turn of loan. We've already got Palmer, we've got Madueke. It's a bit of a tight squeeze saying we're looking at this guy now. Someone in the hierarchy at Chelsea must really, really want him if we go back there. Let's put it that way. And I'm not saying it's the wrong thing to do. I'm just saying it's not looking very likely.
Yep, and Ty has an excellent video for Whispers. If you again, I'm not sure whether he's listening now. Ty has an excellent video about Whispers. Again, if you will share, he'd share it, and he explained the sort of player he is in detail. But I'll get him to come share it here whenever he gets a chance. If Olise comes in, it's unlikely one of Nani Angelo will be sold. Clearly creating a group of players for their future club ownership, possibly. Maybe. Football is about opinion, and with opinions, sometimes you argue. Yeah, sometimes you see a heated debate, and that's when it's usually fun, actually. When there's a heated debate, if we all agree, we don't have a show. If we all agree, then something is quite wrong. I've said that 1,000 times. As well as we have here, Eze is better and doesn't get injured, but we're not interested in signing Eze. Whispers Israel, Dan, and uncooked steak. Wow. Raw. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along. But let's move on to the next item we have lined up. Let's go, people. Let's go. All right. Let's hear your thoughts on this one, people. Everyone in the chat. Chelsea are among the clubs are monitoring Alphonso Davies' contract situation at Bayern. The Canadian left back's current deal is due to expire in the summer of 2025. So he has just about about 16 months or so left on his current contract. And it looks like, I'm not sure how much he earns currently, because Bayern, they operate like Man City. At some point, you get to a certain level of salary next thing they will try is to sell you. And sign a younger player, a much younger player that's also equally good or not, if not better. But if you're in the chat, let's hear you. What do you make of this particular report, Bobby? He's an excellent player, in my opinion. Alphonso Davies, Canadian international, plays for Bayern Munich. But let's hear you.
Yeah, we've been linked with Alphonso Davies quite a lot over the years, haven't we? He is a good player, but I think his issue will be one of wages. I'm not sure we will be prepared or we will actually have a need to cough out that sort of wages for him. Yes, we need a left back, but not one that would take us within danger of FFP.
Mm.
Can he go to Real Madrid? Is possible. I can see them sniffing about him, but they have quite a few good players on that side. I don't know. Wages will be the problem, in my opinion. If he's prepared to fit into the Chelsea wage structure, fantastic, happy days. But I don't see it. Don't see it, coach. I think that ship may have sailed.
Yeah, if you're in the chat, let's hear you. Madrid, I heard, are also interested. But we're just monitoring. Monitoring doesn't specifically say we're interested in signing him. We're seeing if the opportunity will come. Do I think they'd extend his contract? It's difficult to say. But as I've explained, they're one of those clubs when you get to a certain level of salaries, you don't get a raise, you get sold. But let's see if you're in the chat. Let's hear you. Just give me 1 second. Let's hear you. Let's see. Has anybody said anything? Any takers for Alphonso Davies? Who whispers, man? Let's see. Let's see. Davies is one on Real Madrid. Real Madrid's radar. Yep, I agree. I like him, but I don't think he suits a Poch unless he plays him left wing. Oh, some delicious point. He's challenged vertically, isn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong. So if that's the case, because here's the thing, if something he has over Matson is just experience. I think they're similar in terms of their vision, passing range, explosiveness. Go ahead.
No, Alfonso Davis is not a short player. Not
He's
at
not.
all. No, he's not. I mean, he's not a giant, but he's not challenged vertically. No, he's not. I would say he's at least a 6 foot plus. You know,
Is he really? No, he's 6 foot.
oh, yeah, 6 foot. Now, do you
Mm,
know, Chilwell? Isn't Chilwell about 6 foot? You know, it's just that in the Premier League, when you're dealing with certain strikers who are beyond 6 foot, you know, it becomes a problem for you. You know, these big guys with like Forrest and
mm,
so on. That's why we look at that sort of height within your
mm,
physicality. But Alfonso
Matson is five
Davis,
five six. Ian Matson is 5'6", and
yeah,
Davis is
which is not
6.
really that short. I mean, it's not great, but do you know what I
I mean,
mean?
he's not. He's not. You can say he's in between. He's not tall. He's not short.
Yeah, yeah, but you know, in terms of as a Premier League defensive player, that will work against you. No, Alfonso Davis. The only problem with him is his wages, and that's where I think Real Madrid will steal a march if they really want him. If they don't want him so much, and Bayern want rid. Oh yeah, we're in for a shout there for sure, and he'll be a great acquisition if we can get him. But you know, he's not going to cut his wages. I mean, we will not
No,
pay.
if anything, he'd be looking for a raise.
Yeah, yeah, we're not going to, and I don't
Certainly,
want
a
us
player
to.
of his quality too.
We don't need to get a left back that's going to be asking for more than 100K a week to start with. We don't need it. There are many left backs, and we even within the club have left backs or people capable of playing left back. It's just because of our injury crisis that we're feeling this pinch. I mean, Cucurella soon come back, and you know he's already on big wages anyway. Now, if we are foolish enough to sell Cucurella, who has actually started to prove himself at Chelsea, and decide to go down the route for Alphonso Davies, who has not proved himself, which is highly unlikely, then I can see it happening. but it's a real shot in the dark story, Coach. It doesn't sound like it's something that's going to be real for us. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Isn't he another injury-prone player? I think Theo Hernandez is better. Theo Hernandez is a good option, an excellent player too. More you could say should be taller and actually more physical. Davies is all attack, more wing back like playing. Yeah, not so much defensively. You're saying Davies on 216K a week already, pounds or euros. So that's a lot already. Like Bobby says, his salary will most likely be the issue. No, he has height, 1.83 centimeters, so 5'6". Big up
No,
to you to Prince.
1.83. That's like 6'1".
No, but here
6'2".
on what I saw on here, I checked, it's 6 foot, nothing
Okay,
more.
yeah. Yeah, but he's not a
And
small
let me check
guy.
again. Alphonso Davies' height.
He's not a small guy. That's the point I'm making.
No,
He's not.
he's not. He's wait, what am I seeing here?
It's about 6'1", 6'2", isn't it?
No, 5'11".
All right. Okay. Well, people that are 5'11" are often said to be 6 foot and vice versa.
I
But
think
that
let me
is
see. Bayern Munich's official site documents him as 185 cm tall. Other sources suggest he stands at 1.81 or equivalently 5'11". So there is
a
Bayern Munich
discrepancy.
here. Yeah, so it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So some people are saying
he's
he's
either
5'11". Some are
he's
saying
between 6'1",
he's more.
6'2".
Yeah.
He's in between. I would say he's between 5'1", 5'11", and 6'1". So 6 foot is about right. And whatever one of that standard deviation, he's not a small player for a wing back. It's when you're like 5'5", 5'6", when you're sort of the height of Martson in the Premier League and for Chelsea that don't particularly have too many tall players, especially in midfield. It's a problem. But I think if he was available, he would fit. But the problem is his wages. Even if it's 260 euros, you're looking at about
Mhm.
200k pounds. And no, we shouldn't be doing that. Not for a wing back. We've got enough options, and there are many young players out there that can come in and fit our rotation for left wing back for sure. I can't name them now, but it's not one of those positions like a centre forward or a centre back that you need a specific type of special skills to be able to be you need to be skillful enough, don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean, you need some extra to fit into a club like Chelsea. We're not that desperate, sorry.
Yeah, especially for the left back position, we're not. Big up, coach. First things, congratulations. It's Super Eagles into the World quarterfinals here. We come. Yep, they did well. Let's see. Thank you so much for saying that. Davies, if he's injury prone, I can't quite say. Osimhen, Olise, keep dreaming. It may well happen. Take a silver, and we win the Premier League next season. You think? Let's see what happens. Have you seen him play? Yeah, why not? He knows him very well. The way he spoke, you should know that. I would take Davies all day. Davies is world-class, young left back. But yeah, not sure about whether he fits in the Poch unless it tends to be more attacking. And the kid also, he's also, Davies is also a Chelsea fan. Davies is game-changing, Reece James level of affecting attack, affecting attack from the defense with Ashley Cole's lessons on how to defend. Davies could take over the Premier League. Plus, loves Chelsea like Osimhen. I think I agree with you, Coach. Can you do FA Cup draw live? I didn't plan for that, but I'll see if I can. It's over 6 foot, 6'1". So the saying here, one report is saying Bayern has them at 5 foot 6 inches. So Wilson from Newcastle is the only player. Okay, we've talked about that in a bit. Chelsea might sell Broja and buy someone, but let me humor you here. We need to keep the topics aligned. Otherwise, I'm going to skip whatever you have in the chat right there. Chelsea are going to buy on deadline day. Let's see if it happens. I'll take them. Even if we sign him for 2 years, that's fine. And they still sign us in the summer. Yeah, that could happen. Kuchila, I am hearing noises that Gallagher and could have okay in their wages expectation. But what is more revealing is Gallagher's preference to stay at CLC this window because there's a final. Maybe I haven't read anything to that effect. Let's see what else we have here. Wilson, that's a lie. Okay, I'm gonna move on from that. Don't mention Davies with Ashley Cole defending. Yeah, they're not even close. Ashley Cole can do both effectively. It was effective offensively and defensively for us. It's not one-sided player. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people that like to go along with Ty. Since you're joining right now, let's hear you. What do you make of the reports? Link it as well with an interest to. Let me just read it there. Chelsea are among clubs monitoring Alphonso Davies contract situation at Bayern Munich. But let's say, Ty, if you have anything to say to that before we move on.
Hello, Ty. Hi. First of all, ask him about Whisper, coach. He's the
okay. Yeah. What was the question about Whispers? He wasn't on the panel there.
It was just the type of player
his position and everything.
Is he a winger? Is he a striker? Or is he both?
And you can also share the link to his. You made a profile video on him. You can share that in the chat so people can watch and learn more about him.
It's been over 6 months. And by the way, big up Bobby. I'm a bit sick, so kind of probably so congested.
Big up to Bobby. To heck with coach.
I was about to say a big up.
You've already started
talking. You're too right. I'm stealing the show today. I'm doing a Roger today.
Yeah. To answer your question though, he's actually both. Well, for Jamaica when he was playing at high school level, he was playing as both. So he's able to play as a wide forward and as a striker. So he is versatile. He's better on the right because I don't know, he has some sort of strength on that right side. So if anything, if he were to actually get an opportunity, as some reports I saw in the past said, he'd perhaps be on the right because he's more of that type of player. He usually is more impactful on that side. So yeah, he's both a winger and a striker in terms of being able to play. I don't know if that will be the case if he gets opportunity at Chelsea, because obviously the atmosphere is different, the environment and the league itself will be different. So I'm not sure if he'd still be able to do the same. But yeah, that's his repertoire. That's the profile that he is. But I can always share the video.
Yeah, what's his dominant foot?
I think he's predominantly left-footed, but the thing is that in all honesty, he's a player that has tried to ace, and there was an interview that he did in Jamaica where he was saying that he ensured that he was able to work on being able to shoot or to kick the ball effectively with both of his feet. But I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, but I believe he's left-footed. It's been a very long time, so.
All right,
Most of the goals that he scored.
Sorry.
Okay. Go on.
Oh, okay. Yes, then. With regards to this particular comment on the screen, that it highlights the stereotype in football. After all, George Weah was able to win World Footballer of the Year. He's from Liberia, but I'm not saying that you're guilty of that. I'm just saying it actually happens subconsciously sometimes. People don't see a player beyond a certain level if they are from a certain country. In my opinion, I think he's an excellent player. You can say, but again, I'm saying this highlights the stereotype in football, which for me, it's unfortunate, really. Let's see. Of course, Whispers can play a striker at college level in Jamaica. Just go away. Thank you for that information there, Ty. When you get a chance to share the link, we did talk about that particular video. So anybody that's in the chat that's interested in watching the video can go to. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with this report here. There's a violent clashes between who? Can I see that quickly? Let's address that report here. I don't know if anybody else has seen it. Okay. Ugly scenes at Black County Derby suspended following fine clashes, and it looks like some people were hurt during that occasion. Um, an unfortunate situation in football. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes and to go a long way. AB is there. Big up to you, AB. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show.
Yeah,
Let's
the
see.
Black Country, that would be any sort of derby between Villa, um, Birmingham, or more specifically, Birmingham and Wolverhampton Wanderers. That's all the black, what we call the Black Country.
Hmm.
And there's a fierce rivalry between all of them. Black country, not in relation to race or anything like that. It's always been called the Black Country. I think it's more to do with the forestry or the sort of industry that was plied in that area back in the day. I'll need to sort of go do my research again on that. But yeah, if you hear Black Country, you're looking at teams like Wolves specifically, and then of course the Birmingham teams, Birmingham City itself, and Aston Villa.
Yeah, and this is saying a report, an update from JC. Quickly, he shared that in private with me, which reads, looks like he was kicking up simultaneously at two ends. Some Wolves fans in the home end is what is being said. Okay, we need more report. And JC, thank you for that update. Necessarily, do appreciate that. As well as we have here, people, keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with. Sincerely do appreciate you all finding the time to join the show this particular morning. Let's see what else we have here. And Ty has shared the link. AB, nice to see you. Big up to you too, AB. I hope you're doing well. And Ty has shared the link to that video. I get a better understanding of Whisper Richards through this video. The link is there. I'm going to pin it so that if you're there, you want to go check it out, go check it out. Make sure to drop a like whenever you do. And believe me, you will learn a lot about him. Excellent analysis. Zai, if you've watched any of his videos, you know how good he is at analyzing players. Let's see. This says, no, coach, I still think he is world class at Davies, but feel for him wouldn't play internationally. Experience at highest level with Canada. They made it to the World Cup the last edition, didn't they? So now I understand you're coming in for more, but even my perception or understanding of your comment at the time led to me talking to something that's important too. I wasn't accusing you of anything. Hope that's clear. But I understand what you mean there. FA Cup players taking up a meet find trouble in West Brom versus Wolves. That's saddened. There's no stereotyping intended. No, I even at the time I wasn't blaming you. But anyway, you're still going to the H place, so I understand. Some rival fans ended up at the same stance, and it started a trouble. Yeah, so I'm not. Again, it's an unfortunate situation in football. Keep driving the likes, and hopefully, we will. There won't be loss of lives.
Sorry, I actually forgot about West Brom. Yeah, they are the true Black Country. West Brom and Wolves. That is their spot, and their rivalry is quite fierce amongst themselves. It's their thing. I've got nothing really to do with that part of the country, but it's been going on for decades, coach. It's an old thing.
Wow. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We're still stuck at 48 likes. We should be doing way better than that. Let's get more likes and make that happen. Just like Mike Mayan in Milan game trouble there, having game troubles there, he might be available after that. I don't think we need him. I don't think we need another goalkeeper, in my opinion. We have two excellent goalkeepers, but that's just my opinion anyway. Exactly. I'm booked first class anyway. Okay. I want to know to confirm the transfer Chelsea have made in the none, except for the women's team. What's her name again? A good player, I heard. I knew nothing about him until we signed him. Then I started hearing, signed her, and before I started hearing how good of a player she is. Big up to you too, Santiago Muno, my assistant. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show this particular morning. No transfer, none at all at this point. Let's move on to the next item, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes that do go a long way. Let's go. All right. Yes. As exclusively reported last week, Chelsea keen on Robinson, and it's not been ruled out for this month. Chelsea in for U.S. men's national team star Anthony Robinson. Anthony Robinson Blues add a Fulham defender to list of potential transfer targets. Histon, Ty, what do you make of this news? Do you like Robinson? And if you're in the chat, I want to hear you. Do you like Robinson? I think he's done really well. He's an excellent player, in my opinion. But I don't know. Do we need him, Ty? And what do you make of this particular report, Ty? Ty, since Bobby isn't, since Ty isn't there, probably not. Bobby, let's say, what do you make of the news?
Now I don't believe in generalizations. We haven't got a fantastic history with American defenders because remember we had one, I've forgotten his name now, Matt Miazga. He never really made it at Chelsea. I don't know this guy. I wouldn't want to pretend I do. So looking at the generalities, which is not really the best way to do things, we find that Americans tend to produce great goalkeepers for the Premier League. There was one for, I think, Everton, one for Spurs, Villa. I keep forgetting their names, but they've had some good goalkeepers. Casey Keller comes to mind. I've forgotten the Everton guy. But, you know, they've had some... now. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Here, I always forget his name, but, you know, they seem to really get good goalkeepers and strikers. You know, there's been a couple. Donovan, Donovan. He was,
Donovan is a striker.
Yeah. He was Everton and Fulham. So I don't know about them. And of course, goalkeepers. Look at the goalkeeper we've got. Yeah, he's European, but he's sort of American, if you know what I'm saying. So, I don't know this guy. I don't. If he's good, I know the ownership would like him. Certainly would be good for Chelsea's commercial value in America. But, you know, being a defender in the MLS, translating that to the Premier League, it's an entirely different ball game. You've got to be worth the onions. If you know them, you've got to be good. So I don't know this guy, and I don't know the truth behind the story.
He's one of the best left back in the Premier League this season, according to stats. I think we talked about him a while ago. But go ahead.
He's already in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Who does he play for?
Fulham.
Fulham left back. That's interesting. I had no idea.
Yeah, he's been actually one of the best left backs so far this season in the Premier League.
Okay, well, I'll go with that. You know, that goes to show how blinkered I am and how less attention I pay to a lot of other teams. But how old is he? That's the issue now.
What's his age? I think it's a very interesting. Bobby, we're all the same. I started paying attention to him after we were linked with a move for him.
Okay, yeah.
So
now I'll start watching him.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's his age again? He's 26.
That's kind of mature for Chelsea, don't you think? 26 next season.
He's an old man, right?
He's an old man for Chelsea. But you know what? I don't know. They might, you know, they're saying they're looking at some mature players. At least he's not, you know, we went for Disasi at 25. 26, maybe we might decide to do that deal. Is he a fit player? Is he good? I don't know. But I can't see, I just don't know. I don't see truth in it yet. This is one that has to happen before I can actually believe it.
Yeah, he is a good player, and plus also the U.S. market too. It's important. Signing him will help us stay strong in the U.S. market. Yeah, that's just my opinion anyway. Do we actually have any other players from the United States right now that's in the first team? No. Olise is gone. Who else?
The
goalkeeper is out on loan.
No, Petrovic.
No, Petrovic
Oh, but he
was signing
plays
him
for
up from
Serbia.
was signing him up
Petrovic
from
from
Emirates.
America, but he plays for Serbia,
Yeah,
doesn't he?
exactly. So for the
Yeah.
US market, I think Robinson makes sense, and the fact that he's doing well actually, not just for the market alone. I think that could you say those two factors could make.
Could work in his favor.
You never know. So I will rule that one out, but let's see what happens anyway. And thank you, people, for 50 likes. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes by the time the show ends. Let's see what else we have here. Matson is one transfer CFC have made this window. Maybe Broja, Chalobah, and a few more will happen. We're not too sure, but let's see what happens. So Broja, call Broja knee. Let's see. It's getting close to end of the transfer window. Robinson is too old for because given the age of the players for signing, except if we've changed that policy because we want to accommodate more experienced players. And I get it. Sometimes it can be wrong to use age and experience interchangeably, but sometimes you just can't separate the two. Let's see what else we have here. I think it might be on loan or only Robinson in a swap with Chalobah, possible if they want him. And I think we've heard that Fulham was they want one of our players. What player exactly, to be specific? I can't quite remember. Let's see. Kuchila, if Spurs offers 80 million for
was
Gallagher,
Chalobah.
it was
really was.
okay, so maybe we'll do a swap deal, some sort of swap deal. Go ahead, Bobby, if you were saying something.
No, that was all I was going to add. That they've been linked with a move for Chalobah, but how true is that? A loan move for Chalobah they were talking about.
Kuchila, if Spurs offer 80 million for Gallagher, they must add another 150 million euros to it for your loss. Yeah, I see. Let's 26 million. Let's see. That's off topic. Big up Chelsea family. Big up to you too. Up Super Eagles of Nigeria. Kachi, how you doing? I can't complain, my brother. I did well, and thank you for asking. Let's see. Let's see what else we have here. Kachila, giveaways are almost on the topic. That's it. Just I'm not gonna say anything else. Let's go away. But yeah, it's off topic. No, I'm not saying anything. The captain spoke. They won Broja already. Bid 20 million also. Oh, I forgot that part. So, but I don't think Broja is the different. You can say something. You say will be difficult to let him go now. Before we let Broja go, I think the club they're not going to do that if they're not sure of bringing in a replacement for him. But that's a small opinion anyway. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes will go a long way. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up. Let's go, people. Let's go. All right. Conor Gallagher is no closer to signing a new Chelsea contract. He would expect around 150k per week with any renewal, which is another complicated factor. So, but even at that, I still do not think he leaves this January transfer window. I've always said beyond January, I'm not too sure what's going to happen. And I'm not quite sure what to make of this. And Bobby, if you're listening, this is your friend Simon Philippos. He's quoting Ben Jacobs. Let's hear you. What do you make of this particular report?
You'll have to read it out to me, Coach, please.
It's a Conor Gallagher is no closer to signing a new Chelsea contract. He would expect around 150k per week with any renewal, which is another complicating factor. He's quoting Ben Jacobs. I don't know if you trust. I think I trust him.
Now, this is interesting because Ben Jacobs, I was on a podcast that he was on a while ago, and he said this a while ago, and this is a case of an old comment being regurgitated. He said this at least 3 weeks ago, if not more, and someone has just decided to regurgitate that just to create a story, create clicks, and create more relevance if they're not, or relevance if they're not relevant at all. It's not new. They're making it sound as if it's just a current statement or something that's just happened recently. It's not new. Ben Jacobs said this a long time ago. He said it on the podcast. It's a fact. He's not, is he closer? Nobody's really sure. Nobody really knows. We're not in negotiations, but at least at the time, that Ben made that statement, I would say it was valid at that time. But that's quite a while ago. And, this is it. This thirst to scandalize Chelsea, put something out there that will create some worry or some uncertainty, or, they're all into that. It's laughable. But it's an old thing. It's an old statement.
So nothing new there.
Nothing new, and I don't think it's even fair to Ben Jacobs. They're making it look like he's coming out with this stuff now, and he said it a long time ago. The situation could have changed since then. Nobody knows.
Good morning to you too, Jude. Mr. Jude, I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for how many likes right now. 52 likes. We can do better than that. Let's see if we can get it to 100 likes by the time the show ends, and I'll try to see if anything new comes up so that we can address them. No church for me today. That doesn't mean I'm a sinner. Let's see if Poch can subsidize 50K from his salary for making Gallagher captain. You're going to that place. But Jude, more importantly, nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. And I appreciate all the support from you and this to you, brother. Thank you so much. Yes, then. You're going to that place, Constantine Dante. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. I'm not sure. Again, this particular report, we have to move on from that one and go to the next item we have lined up here. Let's go, people. Let's go. Let's see anybody else has anything else to say with regards to that Gallagher news. Gallagher has 18 million, so I'm not sure. It's not a statement, Bobby. These Junos don't know what that word means these days. Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't. Or just mean they just what's the word I'm looking for? You can say for them it's just all about the clicks. Let me just leave it at that. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. Let's go, people. Let's go. All right, Mauricio Pochettino is ready to give more academy players opportunities with plenty of Chelsea stars still out injured. Gilchrist, I think, will become a mainstay in the first team. That's because the last time, was he in the, what position was he on? He gave a good account of himself. He didn't look out of place. It's something that was common. It's something that's common when you play a centre-back in the right-back position. He was drifting inwards, more often than not. Did he start in the? I think he started in the left back position or so. I can't quite remember. But he was drifting inwards, whether on the left or on the right. I can't quite remember. He was drifting inwards, which I expected that to happen. That's because he's traditionally a centre back. But Bobby, let's say which of the academy players, and if you're in the chat, Constantine Dante, I know you know our academy players very well. Which of them do you expect to see more if Pochettino, if he keeps his words of again keeps his promise of giving more academy players opportunity? I expect to see Gilchrist and shocking, right? You could call me Einstein for figuring that out. Gilchrist and any more players you have in mind. The midfielder that came on the other day, he looked good, but let's hear you, Bobby.
Yeah, Castle Dean. To be honest, the player that that looks like breaking through is Gilchrist. Gilchrist has been with Pochettino through the preseason. He used him in preseason. People forget he played quite a significant part. Slightly less than Humphreys. Humphreys would have been the guy, but because the centre backs are so well overloaded, although I say that, and we've got them all injured, but we've got quite a bit of experience and a lot of people ahead of him. He went out on loan, but Gilchrist certainly from this season on. Humphreys maybe next season. It all depends on if we have another two training period wonder with Wesley Fofana, and then he goes off injured again as usual. Then we may see Bashir Humphreys coming into the fold. I don't know how he's doing on his loan. I haven't been up to the loan watch circuit too much, but I wouldn't expect him to be doing too badly. And he and Gilchrist look the most likely at the moment. There's always someone that can come through the blind side. But at the moment, I mean, we can't discount Casaday, because he is now more or less an academy product. You know, he may not be academy per se, but he certainly is in the Chelsea youth team system. So he's going to break through for sure. So there's him, there's Gilchrist, and there is potentially Bashir Humphreys. Castledean looks the type that they will probably give him a loan before putting him, just like they did with Matos. At least he got further than Matos. At least he got on the field. Although Matos did get on the field. Yeah, so that those will be my picks that I can see actually making it into the first team with Pochettino. That is.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. If you're in the chat, the same question goes to you. What young players, given the report we have on the screen there, do you expect to probably, you could say, break through and become a mainstay in the first team? Let's hear you. I don't know them that much, but right now I'd say Gilchrist isn't going anywhere. Because every season you get one academy product that stays, academy player that stays with the first team. I don't think he's going out on loan. If he's going to be playing as much as he's played since the season started, I think he ends up staying. And probably there's a chance he gets one opportunity and makes it difficult for the manager to drop him. Those things do happen in football, and I hope it does because he has the Chelsea spirit, in my opinion. Let's see. It's not a okay. We read that 80 million. I don't know what currency. He played left back on that day, but you get my point of him drifting inwards. I saw it in transfer. Okay, let's see. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go a long way. If Alfie Gilchrist is the next Genteri, shouldn't we be playing him centre back real shortly? No, he's still a bit raw. As calm as he looked the last time he played, the fact that I was one of those saying he didn't look out of place. He looked as if he's played with the team for a while now. But at the same time, you have to recognize the fact that he's not that experienced yet. There are more experienced players than him.
Neither is he that big.
Than him,
and neither is he that big in terms of his size, and that could be an issue with him as going into centre back, unless he's somebody that will prove himself to be as good as the likes of Thiago Silva. His size may work against him going immediately into centre back until he gets more experience, and then you'd start to see that. But I do believe he will be. He's not going anywhere. He's going to be a bit of a mainstay for Chelsea.
I think he will be. It doesn't look like it. And given the fact that Pochettino did say when we was asked why, I think he mentioned the number of players he wants in his current squad. So I think somebody did say something to the effect of that number not being enough, and he responded that he will always make the numbers up with players from the academy. So which means Gilchrist, I think, will be there. Let's say good day to you to Supreme Court. It's nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Thank you so much. And it says Constantine with his list of young academy talents that he would want to see given opportunity. Williams, left back. Castledean, CM. Washington, striker. Gilchrist, centre back. Harvey Vell, is it? On loan. He's on loan, so why count him? Olise, right back. The young Olise, I don't know anything about him. Is he a right back? Wow. I don't know him, and I don't know how good he is. So I'm not too sure what to make of that particular part of Olise, brother. Is it that good? Is good enough to play for Chelsea in the right back position? I'm not sure. But Happy Bell shouldn't be on this. He's still on loan. But we have Santos and Casade back now as well. Yeah, so those academy midfield players, I don't think they will get a chance. We haven't seen Santos win.
Olise's younger brother is far from the first team. I think he's probably under 14s, under 16s, that sort of thing. He's not even near the develop. I mean, these guys are development squad guys we're talking about. he's not there. And you know, you've got to be exceptional, like David Washington, if you're with the under 18s and you're getting a bit of a shout on the Chelsea bench. So Olise, I've forgotten his first name now. He's not in the offing yet.
Okay. Well, since I really wanted to see Williams left back against Borough. You did say that. I can recall. I remember you saying that. But yeah, these are ones that I think are good enough. Okay. Well, Casadei and Santos be sent out on loan. Santos most likely, because today we heard was brought back to play, and that's because he was playing at Leicester City, and especially given the fact that Ndidi has been out injured, he got to play even more. I think he got 2 goals in total for them. I can't quite remember.
We could see Casadei. In fact, I fully expect to see Casadei against Liverpool at some point. He will come on for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I think today we'll get a chance. When, I honestly do not know, but I hope to see him. So he's an excellent player, in my opinion. Well, today and Santos be seen on loan again. I honestly do not know. Let's see. But I just told you today probably will stay. Olise is 19. Bobby, you must really watch. Okay, I don't know him. Maybe Bobby needs to watch him more. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Sincerely do appreciate you all. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up here. Give me a second here. Let's bring this over here. Okay, this is saying Cole Palmer.
Yeah, I mean,
let's read it.
That could well be my mistake. If it is, I hold my hand up. Yes, but I think there's more than one Olise at Chelsea, to be honest. I think he does have a younger brother in the under 16s or under 14s as well. If that's not the case, I stand to be corrected, of course. But I think, you know, there's more than one of them here at Chelsea. That's why he's so linked to Chelsea. He was here himself. And you're saying Olise is 19. Is that Michael Olise himself? Or how old is Michael Olise? He can't be much older than 19 himself.
Check.
He's either 19 or 20. So
I think around 22 or 21.
Oh, he's up to that. Okay, so yeah, probably.
Let me just check. Let's be certain.
I haven't noticed his brother in the under.
Yeah, he's 22 actually. Michael Olise is 22.
22. So if he has a brother that's 19, then that guy will be playing in the development and in the under 21s. And I haven't noticed him, to be sure. To be fair, I haven't. But that doesn't mean to say he doesn't exist.
Yeah, I understand. Let's see what else we have here. I don't think we will see any. To be honest, when FA Cup, no chance. League Cup, no chance. The time to play them has passed, and we're at a very critical stage of those two cup competitions, and we want to play our best players. Gallagher could be gone. We'll find out. You've said that 1,000 times during this particular stream, and this says that Cole Palmer has scored more winning goals this season than no player, so to speak, has scored more winning goals this season than Cole Palmer. No surprises there. 4 in total. He scored 9 goals in the Premier League in total, and 4 of them are winning goals. So yeah, I'm not shocked really. What a player was signed there. I still take him over Mohamed Kudus any day. The only argument I would subscribe to is that yeah, we could have signed both. I would take that. But if I had to choose one of them, it'd be Cole Palmer anytime, any day. And that's because, in my opinion, he has more to his game than Mohamed Kudus. And a lot of people would disagree, but I'm standing by that. But let's say people keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes to go along with Palmer. Is a solid player, but he's no striker. First 9 wouldn't work against anyone. But the big teams, we need a solution up front. And chances are the club would do something about that. Bobby, I don't know if you have anything to add to the Cole Palmer report, or should I just move on? It's something that is worth noting that he's been that good for us. And he's a human being, I get it. He's missed chances here and there. But one thing I like about him, he's a very confident chap. Missing 1, 2, 3 chances doesn't weigh him down. He moves on from those chances as quickly as like this, you snapping your finger. But let's say, Bobby, you want to add to that, or should I move on?
Sorry, who's this coach?
This is saying that Cole Palmer has scored more winning goals in the Premier League than any other player. 4 winning goals in total.
Okay.
Yeah,
Is
9
that
goals in
surprising?
total, but 4 winning goals. No, not really. No.
I mean, we all know what a talent he is and how blessed
Mhm.
we are indeed to have him at the club. I'm scared of sometimes overpraising these young players, especially young English players. It tends to be a bit of a trap for them. So I think he's excellent. I think he's good for us, and yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. And long may that continue. Tell you what, if he continues on this trajectory, my goodness me, what a player we're going to have. You know, what a player we're going to have. In fact, the ownership will have to really dig their heels in and make sure I know he's on a very long contract already and there's
Mhm.
no talk about it. But if he ends up being the player I think he can be, the issue will be to get him to finish his career at Chelsea. And that's not impossible either, as much
Oh
as
yeah, he'll be one of those players that are unsellable. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I
All
mean,
right.
there's
Thank you.
nothing
Go
else to
go
really
ahead.
add
Go
to
ahead.
his.
Sorry.
There's nothing else to really add to his accolades. Honestly, he deserves every single one of them.
Yeah. Well, we again we got that De Bruyne back, in my opinion. Let's see. No criticism, absolutely clear. Palmer is cold though. Here's the thing. I'm not comparing them to. I'm saying if I had to choose, I'll choose Palmer over Curtis. That's because there's more to his game. They're both good players. They're both excellent players, in my opinion. But I don't want to go to the extent of comparing them both. But chances are, yeah, definitely, if we would find how they differ even more. So maybe we need to. Palmer has scored 5 penalties. So yeah, those stats are not quite that good. But of course, he's been our best player this season so far. But 4 winning goals, I'll take that. 4 game winning goals, I'll take
Oh,
those. Yeah.
coach, scoring
Mhm.
penalties and free kicks is an immaculate skill and a very, very crucial skill for any team that hopes to be successful. If I
Mhm.
have any criticism of Palmer's game, which sort of gives me a bit of concern, and you could see it from the highlights in the match against Aston Villa, is that when he's through one on one with the keeper, he always shoots low. And intelligent keepers like Martinez tend to anticipate that. That was why Martinez was able to use his feet to block his shot. Now, was that the wrong thing to do? I don't think so. In that situation, he had a decision to make and he made one. At least he hit the target. But if sometimes he adds to his game, which may come with maturity, that little bit of much deception where maybe he may feign a shot or instead of going low, go up and chip the keeper when the keeper has committed themselves. That would add a string to his bow. And that's not beyond him at all. It's not that his shooting low has been bad because he's been scoring that way. But I think the more studious and intelligent keepers will note that and expect that when they're one on one with him. And I'm looking forward to one day him roofing one into the net when the keeper has gone low, expecting a low shot. And he's very capable of that.
And he's still very young. He can only get better. So I'm not too concerned. And more importantly, as I've said, he's a confident chap. Those misses doesn't weigh him down and all that. Coachella, we need another. According to that's what JC is saying. We need another bad at the hamstring word of infirmary breaking. He says breaking. Wilson is reported open to a move to Chelsea with 18 million sweeter from Newcastle poised to go through before deadline day. I will take him. Which means we're looking still to sign a big name a striker
That's
in the summer.
crazy.
Coach, I
It
would
won't be a
take
bad deal.
That's
Go
I would
ahead.
take
crazy.
him. I would take him with open arms. I think
Yeah.
he would make such a big difference to us, especially if we can keep him fit. My goodness me, that would change everything about Chelsea's offensive play for sure. And he's old enough to know that should we bring in a younger marquee, that he's on rotation, and he'll probably welcome it because of his injury record. That would be the signing we should be making this window, if we make a signing. For sure. Premier League proven? Are you kidding me? It's a
And on the
no-brainer to
stage,
me.
and it's not like he was signing him to be the starting guy forever. I think we need something now. If we're
Yes.
indeed trying to sign Osimhen in the summer, we cannot wait. We still need a striker now, and we can have them both in the summer. But
Yes.
go ahead, Bobby, what you were saying.
No, absolutely. 150 million%. If we can do that deal, I would take that. That deal makes more sense to me than Benzema. I got to say, that deal makes far more sense to me and will be better for us than Benzema. And that is a big call indeed. Of course, no brainer. If it's on the card, go for it, for sure. I would be a happy man, coach. I would be a very, very happy man. To
Yeah, well,
me,
yeah.
I even prefer it to Ivan Toney. I think Ivan Toney is expensive and could complicate things. Not in terms of his ability, but the temperament, the age, and all that. But we either do one thing: we either get them young, or we get them so old that that they bring that experience. And Callum Wilson will bring the experience that our young strikers will learn from, and he will bring the competition that should we get an Osimhen that he will need. You see what I'm saying? This is a win-win deal. In fact, the more I think about it, the more I hope we do it.
Yeah, I hope we do it. It would be good, even if it's so just as a stopgap. It doesn't matter really. All of our attacking midfield players have been horrible at shooting. Still needs to work on a shot though. Yeah, I agree, and he's creating a lot of chances for us too. Let's see, we're reaching Patrick. They're not here today. You're not seeing a lot of breaking news and updates. Penalty scoring is not an immaculate skill. Free kicks are though. Yeah, you can argue that, but even penalty scoring isn't that easy. So not everybody is. All players aren't good at that. So it's something I'm not sure you perfect over time. Please, they shouldn't do this for God's sake. Why can't they get Benzema? If not, allow Broja to stay. Benzema isn't going to be easy. Penalties are not that hard. Easy shots, actually. I don't agree that it's not that hard.
I beg to
We've
differ.
had some players that aren't good at penalties. For instance, one matter is horrible at taking penalties. You know
Yeah.
that.
And it takes some nerve,
That.
coach.
Sorry?
It takes some nerve. You've
Yeah,
got to be
and practice,
confident. Sometimes you're under all sorts of pressure. No, I don't agree with those that don't think it's a skill. It is a skill.
Yeah, and Constantine,
Really
I
do.
don't agree with this one, and I'm going to actually boo you for saying that. And I need
Yeah,
to boo Supreme Courts
Constantine.
too.
Boo,
I need to boo
Constantine.
Supreme Courts. Where is he? Just go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying boo, Constantine. Bad call. No. You've got to be. It's a gift. You've got to be that player with some swag to go take a penalty. If not, you're going to be missing them. And we've seen good players miss penalties over and
We've
over
had good
again.
players that are horrible. Actually, Cole isn't good at penalties. I'll say that. Excellent players. One matter. He isn't good at penalties. Who has comes to mind? I can't quite remember. I wouldn't count Messi
Nicholas
Mount
Anelka.
as excellent, but he was horrible at penalties shouldn't be taken.
Nicholas
To name a
Anelka.
few. I
We
don't
had
quite remember whether he's good at taking penalties or not. I can't quite
Anelka.
remember.
Anelka cost us the Champions League from the penalty. People remember the slip by John Terry, but we were still alive. It was Anelka missing the penalty that lost us the trophy. To be honest, Solomon Kalou was not particularly great at penalties. It's not that easy. One matter for sure. He couldn't. People like One Matter and Claude Makaleli didn't have the power. There's so many
Mata
players.
was really awful at taking penalties.
Yeah. So
I
you've
to
got to
say
have a
that.
yeah.
Okay, Supreme Court, here's your own boo. Yeah. For saying that. But let's see what we have here. We've read address that one. We've addressed this one. Not many people can score penalties. consistently. Yeah, so it's not that easy. Bobby Palmer is a neat. It's not slow. He's a 10, but the chances he got were so quick with surprise elements. Even a striker will need to be there in a flash. They are 50-50. Always let us not make our conclusions. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Let's see what else we have here. Callum Wilson has spent more time on hamstring injuries than on the pitch. That is a 1.5 season. We'll get to that in a bit. And he did share his injury record because I think he makes sense. This is the same conversation we had before we signed. Also saying before we signed Wesley Fofana. I'm coming, Bobby. Callum Wilson has spent more time. Yeah, I've read that. Wilson has wrist string issues. Wow. Bobby, he's injury prone and has a suspect hamstring, which is an issue. Let's see anything else we have here. And that begs the question, why are Newcastle looking to sell him? Could it be because he hardly stays fit? Kachila, can you please display Callum Wilson's injury record? I'll share that in a bit. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, you guys took penalties at the pro level. You guys played. Just go away. I'm going to boo you again. Trying to shame us here.
I want to explain Callum before we escape to other topics because I think it's quite important. Newcastle are looking to sell him because of FFP. They have to sell. They're in that position. They have to sell players before they can even hope of buying players. He's down to the last year of his contract. He's 31 years old, and if he signs for them, he'll be an expensive wage wage retention that they don't need. They need to sell because of FFP. That's number one. Number two, yes, he is a risk. Callum Wilson coming to your club is always a risk, especially a club like Chelsea, who really doesn't need any more injuries. But the fact is that we're looking for a stopgap for the rest of the season. And if the manager, is sensible, he will put him into a rotation. Sometimes we play with a false nine. Wilson is happy to come off the bench. Sometimes we can put Jackson up there when he's back from the African Cup of Nations. But he's an option. He's an option that we don't have. You see, our fan base, I don't know, we keep looking at things in terms of the first 11 and only 11 and the player playing constantly. Football now is a rotational entity if you want to succeed. Imagine having someone come off the bench like Callum Wilson in the League Cup final. Is probably cup tied anyway, but in the he is because he played against us. But in the League Cup final against Liverpool, he would make all the difference. But even if he can't play any of the cups for us, bringing him on against a lot of clubs in the league could be the difference between a European place or not. I think it will. And for 18 million in today's market, wow, I'll go for it. That's just my opinion anyway. I think it's valid. People are concerned because of his injury. Of course it is, but I think it's a risk worth taking. We just have to keep him fit.
Okay, so your opinion is that it's a risk worth taking. Let's see. Breaking news: Richard Monibeko is in the house. Bobby the Legend is in the house, and everything that she said there. Let's see. Yeah, you only remember the missed penalties. Let's go ahead. We too need to sell. Let's see what else we have here. Supreme Court's. Let's see. He has missed 15 games this season with injury, and it's in the hospital right now. Ooh, so yeah, he's injured actually right now, so it's not gonna happen.
Is he?
Callum Wilson, I think he's injured right now.
Oh dear. Okay. Oh dear. Well,
I think he's injured right now. Injury record looking awful. Now, I think I run away. I'd rather Benzema if we can afford him for 6 months, and that is if Al Ittihad is willing to allow him to leave on loan. But we've heard that he's not leaving.
Okay,
they want him to stay on. Probably, even if he wanted to leave, probably they'd convinced him to pay him more because it's super important to them, given the push to host the World Cup. Let's say, Bobby, were you saying something? Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. I agree. If he's injured now, then it's a little bit too much of a risk.
It's too much, and if he's injured right now,
yeah,
it's not like we can get a few games from him before he gets injured, right? So Rich Moneymaker is saying I agree with Bobby. If we had Wilson. Sorry?
I said Constantine will be happy now. Yeah,
I
yeah.
think maybe
Oh,
JC
was
will
it
be more
JC? Okay.
happy that yeah,
JC.
JC was the one that presented this. I agree with Bobby.
Okay.
If we had Wilson in many games, we would have won. Yeah, but with his defeat, Bobby would make a great scout. look at Bobby, look at Constantine having laughing at
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Well, I've said I'm wrong in this one, so yeah, I was just thinking of a fit Callum
The
Wilson.
benefits. You only look at things from how we benefit from that.
Absolutely, absolutely. But
Ye-
hey, my bad.
Yeah. Let's see. We have to look at the first 11 because the week first 11. Okay, the week first 11. The reason we are mid-table, we needed to look at the injury record because we have an injury crisis. So no need to sign any more injured players. And Bobby, you guys have actually succeeded in convincing Bobby. We have to look at yep, I've read that too. Coach, your penalty coach is let me say this, Constantine, that I'm good at. I didn't play professionally, but I'm good at taking penalties. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Bobby for Prime Minister.
No,
Bobby just
no,
trying.
seriously,
Yeah.
coach, and the guys in the chat. I love this. I don't care about being right all the time. Sometimes I will speak things. I'm emotional. I'm a fan.
I think they
You
know
know,
that.
I
Yeah,
my
they know
my
that, and that's why
my
we're here. Go ahead.
my motive is what is best for the club. So, I'll take an L. If I say something that's off and people correct me, fine. I have no problem with that. Where I go on the offensive is when I hear the rubbish and then I'm like, do you know what? I've got to put this straight. But yeah, of course, we're all going to make mistakes. I'm a fan. I'm no more of a fan than any other true fan out there. I just love the club. And, that's why I'm here with coach, and my wife keeps looking at me raising her eyebrows as to why an old man like me would spend so much time talking about a football club. But that's my passion, and I own it, period.
Yeah. Yeah, but Bobby trying to save club some money so that more is left for your bonus. Yeah, is that what you think? And Elka is sporting penalty. I didn't know honestly. Did coach say Ashley Cole is sport? Yeah, I think he is. Yeah, in my opinion, he scored a nice one in 20. Yeah, I don't judge him by one. I don't think it's good to score penalties. But that's just my opinion anyway. I can't go by one and say he is. I've seen a couple of things, but maybe I could be wrong, but I'll check again. Hi to you too, AD. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show, brother. And this is for you. Much love to you, and thank you for all the help. Eddie's saying we really needed to be careful about Wilson because we have too many injured from players. Bobby, you cost a war this morning. A lot of people jumping in and saying
Oh my
Bobby has
goodness.
friends with benefits. Let's go
Oh
see
my
how.
gosh.
You,
Where's
you just
my
proved
brother
my point
Roger?
by go ahead.
I'm taking all the heat alone. Roger needs to cut. What? Let's see. Where is he? Oh, I think Roger was on with Michi last night. I can't.
Yeah,
I
so
think I
probably
might have
stress him.
woken up.
Yeah.
I might have woken up and heard them, but I was so tired I couldn't join them. But yeah, that's where he is. He's getting some sleep, much needed,
Mm.
much needed sleep.
Yeah, thanks so much for that. Once again, you just proved my point. Me, okay. Let's take it. Let's take it that I've done that. Out of all those strikers, Jonathan David is the closest thing to Osimhen. To be honest, Jonathan David, isn't he Canadian too? Closest to Osimhen in terms of pace or what? I'm not too sure, in my opinion. But Markin New, nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. We still love you, Bobby. I think he knows that quite well. It's all love. He understands how we joke here. Yeah, don't read out Bobby has friends. I read it, and you made me read that. I think the Liverpool players will drop. Okay. Responding to Bobby there. Nice to see you, BRZ, my Swiss bro. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding time to join the show. Roger abusing his low spell at Mitchy Boyd's channel. I am back at Bobby with Wilson. And quickly, let's look at the numbers here. The numbers here, and they're all changed, which is what I usually pay attention two. The spaces between each injury, it's usually to pay attention to that. I was concerned about Wesley Fofana when we looked at his, and these are chained and repeating actually. How many hamstrings in total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. This is not about Bobby anymore. This is just looking at how often he's been out injured. And this is okay. 19. Is it from top to bottom? Okay, from here. He was out 8 days, 15 days, 49 days, 12 days, 19 days, 7 days, 56 days, 17 days, 48 days, 125 days, 35 days out, 10 days out, 13 days out, and they're all changed. This is in 19, the same year, December 2018, okay, 18-19 season, and then January 3rd, and then again January 19th, and then December 2019, November 2020, January 2021, oof, especially in 2021, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times in 2021, and they're all changed. So it's a huge concern, really. So we move on from that. Let's move on to the next item we have lined up, people. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. The likes do go a long way. We have in total how many? Yeah, we do have 55 likes, but we should be doing way better than that. Give me a second. Let me find something else we have lined up here to talk about. I think we'll be rounding up soon. This one here, I think we've looked at it. This says Chelsea are among the clubs are monitoring Alphonso Davies' contract situation at Bayern Munich. The Canadian left back current deal is due to expire in the summer of 2025, and talks over an extension are yet to reach a positive conclusion. Bayern usually again, before you get a serious extension in terms of getting a good pay raise, it hardly happens there. In my opinion, I keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. The likes do go a long way. Let's move on to the next item after that. And this one here talks about Chelsea are interested in Jonathan David. Yeah, isn't he another Canadian? So Telefoot, I don't know whether to trust that. GFF. And how old is Jonathan David? I think that will make DJ South very happy, because even when I become a content creator in 21, DJ have been preaching for Chelsea to sign Jonathan David since then. So I don't know. What do you make of Jonathan David if you're in this side? Do you want Chelsea to go for him? I think he's a good player. But if we sign him, what the question is, okay, what does that mean with regards to our interest for Victor Osimhen? Let's hear you, Bobby. You have anything to say, Jonathan David? DJ Sav will be happy.
Yeah, I mean, Jonathan David, you're right. We've been linked with him for donkey years. And yeah, he was a favorite of DJ Sav. I've kind of fancied him myself, to be honest, but I don't think it's related to Osimhen. I think Osimhen...
You think you can have them both?
Well, why not? What's the price tag on Jonathan David?
I'm not too sure. Nothing is certain, but it should be in the 30s. Not too expensive. The last time we talked about it.
Exactly. The problem with him is the wages. That will be the issue. And whether wages and need. Is he so much in demand? The time we really needed him has passed. I don't think we need him that much anymore. So I don't think so. I don't think it's on the same platform. I think the Osimhen striker, needing a striker platform, is out there on its own, and it'll be a deal that will happen regardless of any other deal. Any other deal may hinge upon maybe certain players leaving and all that sort of thing. Whereas the Osimhen deal, for example, I'm not saying in certainty, but for example, is probably going to happen, or, you know, if we need to offload players, we will kind of push players out to get it to happen, if you know what I mean. So it'll be, let's put it this way, Osimhen will be a priority, whereas I don't see Alphonso Davies as being a priority.
Jonathan Davis, so to speak. And if you're in the chat, wouldn't you say we already have too many players? We have too many players of the same quality or the same profile, in my opinion. But let's see. Let's see what the chat have to say. Let's see what else we have here. Get him. Let's see. Yeah, of course, Bayern don't want him no more because he wants way too much a salary, and I'm not quite sure they will pay that. It's just the same thing we talked about. If you get to a certain salary measure, they're probably not going to do too much to keep you. Probably will look to sell you. I take
Where's DJ
Davies
Sam?
Sorry?
Where's
DJ
DJ
Sam? We're
Sam?
talking about his bro, right?
Yeah. For years, man. Years from the moment that
Yes.
I met DJ, he's been preaching about Jonathan David. It's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Same thing at the moment. Again, one of the first time I heard them say when we were looking for a striker at the time. I agree with you, Ty. I would take Davis in the summer if Chilwell breaks down one more time. Yeah, I agree with you. If Chilwell breaks down one more time again, I'd say get us Davis. Chilwell cannot stay fit because availability, they say, is the best ability. So if Chilwell
that could really sway it, Coach. I agree. If we still have these shenanigans with Chilwell, then Davis will definitely start to go up the ladder of priority.
Yep, I do agree with you. Yep, I sincerely do agree with you. If he breaks down again, let's move on from him. Another Canadian stereotype. I know where you're going with that. Sorry, he's not world class this season average. I think he's dropped. You can say he's not been performing at the same level he was performing at the time that what's his name, DJs was pushing for us to sign him. And how old is he right now? Actually, probably too old for us.
Yeah, I would think so. He's been around
probably
a while.
Too old for us, but maybe we're looking to sign experience. I don't know. Let me just check.
God damn, he's 24 years old. I remember when, oh my goodness, it's been that long. I remember the first time DJ mentioned him, he was 20. Oh my goodness.
And probably you'd be thinking that he should be like 26 right now, but he emerged onto the scene very early in his life.
Yeah, it looks that way, doesn't it? You know, some of these players,
it looks like it.
You think they've been here forever, but it's because they started so young.
Yeah, it's that sort of what's his name? Joao Felix sort of player, Callum Hudson-Odoi. If you ask some people now, say how old is Callum Hudson-Odoi, you'd be so shocked what you will hear. Yeah, he's just 24. For instance, Callum Hudson-Odoi.
He's 21, I think, or 22.
Callum Hudson-Odoi age, he's still 23. But that's why I felt like we gave up too early on him. But because they emerged too early onto the scenes, that's why people usually, if you ask people, they sounded like those players are 26, 27, 28. Yeah. So yeah, he's still 24. Callum Hudson-Odoi is 23. Let's see what else we have. He keep double likes on the stream. He is the same profile we have, like you said, Coach. Yeah. Yep. So I don't think we need him right now. We need something different if we really want to mix it up. And that's not me saying he's a bad player. And something else I've said also is that he's not been, you can say, in the sort of form he was at the time when DJ was going crazy about him and preaching on every channel that we should sign him. He's versatile with suit Poch, but me, no. Yeah, and chances are maybe Poch wants him for that. Yeah, because he can play across all the front three area. 24, not too old. Yeah, he's still within the age bracket of players for signing. Go ahead.
Looking at hindsight, I wish. Now, I feel I won't use the word regretful, but I wish now that we had indeed sold Callum Hudson-Odoi to Bayern Munich and taken all that money. You see, this is where it's very difficult with our academy graduates. We're very emotional about them. We want them to play for Chelsea, and Callum showed so much promise. I believe his career probably would have been better off with Bayern. I know he flopped with Leverkusen, or who did he go to? Was it oh gosh, I've forgotten who was it? Leipzig, someone like that. He went to on loan and he didn't
No, no,
do
no.
well.
It was by Leverkusen. It
Oh, Leverkusen,
was
yeah, he didn't
Leverkusen
do well at all. But
under
I
Alonso.
think,
I think so.
yeah, he didn't do well. I think, we could have got some good money for him. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. But had we known then what we know now, we could have got good money for him. And who knows, maybe Bayern could have got a better use of him because right now, the way his career is, it's quite sad. There's time for it to
And
change,
he
but
wanted
it
to
doesn't
leave.
look like it.
Tuchel was giving him game time, but he wanted to leave because he felt like he should be starting every game, probably not playing in the wing, playing the wing back role for Tuchel. Go ahead, Bobby. I'll let you speak.
Yeah, you're right. But even his desire to play every game seems quite unrealistic now because quite clearly he's not that player at the moment. I mean, he's even struggling in Forest. I've seen them haul him on, haul him off, bench him, and it's a very it's unfortunate, his whole situation. I mean, from someone that looked like they will be the next Iron Robin to what he's doing now, it's unfortunate, and that was all due to that horrible injury.
I wouldn't say the injury. It can impatience maybe. Tuchel liked him. He was getting game time, was doing well. Again, fans at the time were expecting him to be that Callum Wilson or that he was when he was still in the academy, but not realizing it, that the more he matures as a player, you start seeing him being less and less flamboyant, but more of a team player. I'm not Tomasuki was more of a team player than he was you can say a dazzler because he's capable of being a dazzler as a footballer. But let me not dwell on him. He's a player I like. He could still get there. He's still very young. Yeah. But we move on from that anyway. Yeah, we're down bad. If 24 is too old, 25 is 26 is the too old. But I was thinking that probably Jonathan David at this time will be 26 or so. Yeah, they realized he was still really, really young at the time that DJ were were preaching that we signed him. He says officers went that way. Let's see, he was better as he grew up, become more average. Maybe that's how you interpret it, but in my opinion, I think he wasn't impatient, and we were impatient with him. That we were expecting too much of him at the age at the time, given how young he was at the time. Nkunku, Lavia, and James back for Liverpool game. Don't risk Lavia. I think probably Lavia could play, maybe a bit. Bobby Norwich are playing Liverpool right now. Bobby, to put salt on the wound, we kept a show and lost Musiala to Bayern in that window. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How
really
late?
sad. But then, having
Yeah.
said that, his parents did want him to go back to Germany. As they say, hindsight is a wonderful thing. Had we known now what we knew, had we known then what we know now, we would have pushed the boat out and kept Musiala. But he was 14. So who was to know what we know now? I mean, it was just an impossible um, thing to see. And he certainly was nowhere near the player he is now. So it's just one of those. It happens to every club, especially every top club. Some you get, some you win, some you don't. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, thank you so much, sincerely. Do I appreciate that. Let's see. Yeah, Liverpool just scored. Lucky. Okay. 2-1. Nunes scores for them. Darwin Nunes. A lot of young players look good at Bayern because they
Well,
usually
one thing
are
I have to
so
say,
dominant.
Liverpool are such a lucky side. The luck of the draw always tends to fall their way. Look at their game against Fulham. They were quite lucky, and I'm looking forward to the day that luck doesn't favour them because it has to run out at some point. And I hope that's against us in the cup final because even in the last cup final they were lucky. We were given an offside that never was, the Lukaku goal. Yeah, surprise, surprise, with Liverpool always getting decisions against us. And of course, the penalty shootouts, which is luck. So they tend to get luck quite a bit. And the thing about luck is that one day it does run out.
Oh yeah, we know that quite well. Keep dropping the like, publishing people. The likes to go a long way. And if you have any questions, so now is the time. Drop your questions in the chat, and we will try to address them. Let me see if there's anything else that's emerged that we should talk about. I don't think there's any. But let's hear you if you're in the chat. Then let's hear anything that you have to say. No player. I think we've addressed that one. Chelsea are interested in Leo's Jonathan David. We've addressed that. Anything new there? Mauricio Pochettino's promise to give more youngsters a chance, given how many of the older players we have out injured. Mauricio Pochettino also, this one reporting that he explained why Palmer has misfired as a number 9. He thinks it's simply a coincidence. No, I think he cannot score in every game, in every single game. Yep. I don't think the fact that he's playing a number 9 as number 9, he played as number 9 in those games. What's the reason why he misfired? If he did, we should maybe not call him Cole Palmer. We should call him Messi. Anything else here? If you have any questions, so drop into the chat and we will try to address it. Let's see, nothing new. Conor Gallagher is not closer. I think we've addressed that one there. Karim Benzema's wages are off. Off put into Chelsea, and there's no green light from Saudi deal makers. More importantly, I think we did talk about that. Say the Saudis don't want to let him go even on loan, both with Al Ittihad or the Ministry of Sports to allow him to leave for Europe just yet. Wow. Even the Ministry of Sports, they are involved to deciding players. Faith coach, when will we sell a player? I don't know. And you've heard the report that we had an offer on the table for Armando Broja, and we refused that. We didn't want to sell him. So I'm not sure really what else to say. FA Cup draw are coming in 13 minutes. Okay, maybe we should wait for that to be. We should get through with that before we call it a day. Let's talk about Bobby's penalty taking record. Just go away. I need the link to follow the FA Cup draw. Let me see if I can find a link with which to follow that particular draw. Give me a second here. So yeah, that's a different thing altogether there. Chelsea, we've addressed all these items we were seeing there. I'm just gonna make a YouTube shots with all of them when the show ends. FA Cup draw. Let me see where can I find that. Let me go to this one here. Maybe move this particular one. Ty, were you saying something? So I'm trying to see where can I find the FA Cup draw. Any live links for that? If you do, please let me know. Wait, it's really 13 minutes. They say a draw takes place in at today. What time is it? I'm not too sure what's going to happen. I have to be honest with you. Breaking news: Tottenham have lost to Brentford for that young star at the age of 18 for 25 million from Belgium. Antonio Nusa. Coach Fowler is interested in the giveaway for which one? Nusa is a big getter for Brentford. Wow. Okay. Tottenham dropped the ball on that one. Probably trying to get him on the cheap. And Nusa probably knows he will get to play more at Brentford. Surprise, we didn't get him because we wanted them. We wanted Nusa last season. We did push to sign him. I didn't know I can't quite recall what happened. Let me check for FA Cup draw. I can't speak this morning. So let me see if I can find it so we can follow it and see what happens. Otherwise, we just round up in a bit. Let's see. Liverpool beating Norwich City by a goal to nothing. By 2 goals to 1. Watford beating Southampton 1-0. Okay. And those games, what minutes? 37 minutes into the game, really. Yeah, exactly. We'll play. We'll play Villa. Like, duh. I don't know. Okay, let's see. I don't think we can wait, but if you're in the chat, if you have any questions, drop it in the chat and we'll try to address this. Otherwise, we'll be calling it a day. I think we've had a good conversation. Interesting ones, actually. Current ones on the board didn't want any more 18-year-olds. That may well be the case, and hallelujah if that's the case, really. That's just me speculating, not too sure. I think they will still be signing a lot of young players, or maybe you can say the only difference is that we're not signing all of them for them to come play at Chelsea. Some of them will most likely go out on loan. No problem. I understand, Ty. You don't need to say apologize. You don't get paid for being on the panel here, so we appreciate you. Any questions, people? Otherwise, we'll call it a day. I think we're done. I think I agree. Bobby, thank you so much for finding the time to join me on the panel. As I said, I do appreciate that. Much love to you. Thank you, Ty. Didn't realize. Okay, no worries. And Constantine Dante, I appreciate you. Namaya Fowler, thank you so much. JC, thank you so much for the updates. Eddie Love for Blue was here too. Thank you so much, Eddie. And Vic was here. Supreme Quads, thank you, and thank you for finding the time to join us once again. Yeah, I think we still have to get done with Villa to know what happens. Anybody else get in the chat? And if I BRZ, thank you so much for finding the time to join us. And if I missed your name, apologies. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and cheers.